हरि ओम। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। हरि ओम। परम पूज्य गुरुजी स्वामी तेजोमायानंद जी, that consolidated text Sadhana Sopan, steps of spiritual practices. In that, this last text, fourth text, Bhakti Sudhaa, nectar of devotion. Earlier we finished first Manushodhanam, Jnanasar, Dhanaswarupam, purification of mind, essence of knowledge, and nature of meditation. And now in that series, this is concluding text, Bhakti Sudhaa, nectar of devotion. So we start as Guruji remembers, Lord, auspicious beginning, Mangala Sharan. Namaste Ramachandraya Suhrude Sarvadehinam Anugranhishwa Nishpatyai Sudha Bhaktir Himam Prabhu. Salutations to Lord Ramachandra, the friend of all beings. Please bless me, O Lord, for the accomplishment of the nectar of devotion. Namaste, Namaha Te. This salutation is meant for you, Ramachandraya, for Sri Ramachandra, Surude, for that friend of all, for that good entity which wants that each and every being should be happy. Sarvadehinam. Every embodiment, every embodied person should enjoy the life and attain the goal of life. To that benevolent Shri Ram, this prostration is Anugrunishva Nishpatte. And one thing is there in my mind, one intention is there why I am doing this prostration. Anugrunishva. Please bless me, have compassion on me. Nishpatte Sudha Bhakterhi Mam Prabhu. O Lord, O Master of all, O very effulgent being, for creating the nectar of devotion, for composing this text named Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Sudha, Sudha Bhakti. So for that, you please bless me. Because if you bless, then only there is a continuous flow of creativity. Then that composition of letters and words and sentences and that all meter in the same meter and with full of philosophical meaning and joy giving tips for life also, that all comes into being. So just you say, yes, be it so. Then it will be there. Therefore Guruji remembers him. These auspicious beginnings are of two types. One is Namaskaratmak and second is Tattvanischayatmak. So one is just salutations and remembering Lord, and second is in that some meaning is also given, and the four things which are needed to understand the text, that also are given. That is called Anubandha Chatushtay. The fit student who will study, who can study and get benefited from that study of the text, that is called Adhikari, an eligible student. So what is the eligibility for getting that knowledge from the text? So this is Adhikari. Then second is what is the subject matter of the text, in which field of knowledge it deals with. Third is prayojan. What will happen? What will the result of that study of the book? And fourth is sambandha. What is the sambandha in between these three factors? As we see, suppose this is a geography standard 5th. This is the book. So for that, adhikari will be one who has passed 4th standard. Purpose will be to make know the geography, the territory of that region. Maybe it is a district or a state or country or world. Then purpose of it will be, we will know some knowledge about that area, that terrain, and sambandha afterwards, when we will go actually to see that river, to see that mountain, to see that town, and then observe all the way of living of the people, etc. Then we come to know about its culture. So after reading that book, we get just a word picture, just a general idea, and then when we actually travel to that area, then we will get first-hand knowledge. So here, Namaste Ramachandraya Surude Sarvadehinam Anugranishwa Nishpatte Sudha Bhakte Himam Prabhu. This is Namaskaratmak Mangalacharan. Further Guruji says, Dharmartha Kama Mokshahi Purusharthaschaturvidhaha Tebhya Shresthatara Bhakti Mata Bhagavatottamaih. Verily, there are 4 human pursuits: dharma, righteous merits, wealth, pleasure, and liberation. However, great devotees consider devotion to be superior to all these pursuits. For human beings, since they have some choice to decide whether to accept or reject a thought, whether to do or not the act, and how to do, whether in the same fashion or in different fashion. In this way, human being exercises certain choice to some measure. Up to some range there is this choice. Therefore, 4 pursuits of life are decided for him. He can attain these 4 things in his life if he lives diligently, intelligently. They are dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma is getting merits by good acts. Artha means resources, all wealth, prosperity. Kama means desires, getting fulfilled one's own dreams, desires. Desires of maybe indulgence or maybe of knowledge, service, etc. And moksha, the liberation, the final emancipation, be attitude. So, these 4 pursuits of life, these 4 purusharthas are fixed for human being. But Tebhya Shresthatara Bhakti Mata Bhagavata Uttamaihi. But those who are great devotees and God's own people, who have realized this knowledge about God, and they have seen God face to face, and they are always in connection with Him. They talk to Him, and God only fulfills His own thoughts through them. So they say that greater than these all 4 purusharthas, these all 4 pursuits of life, is the bhakti. So bhakti is the panchama purushartha, it is called. It is the 5th pursuit of life, and that is beyond all these 4. So when a person gets that self-knowledge by which he gets liberation, then he gets this greatest type of devotion, bhakti, which is unconditional. Only for the God's sake, the devotee loves God. By the way, what is bhakti? Now this is Bhakti Sudhaa. Sudha is nectar, Amrut, the sweet drink that gives happiness to you. And this, what is bhakti then? So bhakti is compared with the Sudha. Bhakti eva Sudha. This we can just do like this compound. Bhakti eva Sudha. So bhakti itself is immortality drink, sweet nectar. And then there is sweet nectar of bhakti. So bhakti means what? Devotion means what? So devotion means love for any higher altar. When love is directed towards lower things which are there at a lower range than us, then it is called love or maybe attachment or infatuation, etc. Just an attraction, liking. But when this love is directed towards the higher altar, towards some higher objects, then that is called bhakti. Like we say, devotion towards country, devotion towards nature, desha bhakti, devotion towards parents, matru bhakti, pitru bhakti, devotion towards God, deva bhakti. So in this way, bhakti is the love direction towards the higher altar, and deva bhakti, loving God. Now what do you mean by loving God? So loving God, the simple general that I should think that yes, God is good. I like God. I think of Him. I think how I can please Him, how I can give Him more and more so that He will be happy. Whatever He thinks good, that I will try to do. Whatever pleases Him, that I will try to accept and apply in my life. Whatever He doesn't like, I will also abandon that. Whatever He says, I will obey that. And all the instructions that God wants to give us, all the guidance that He wants to give us is written in our scriptures. So therefore scriptural studies must for all the people to have a successful life, and for devotees especially who love God. Because there we come to know what is there in the heart of God, how He expects us to be, to live in all situations, how He wants us to use our body, mind, etc. instruments, what goal He fixes for us. So in this way, this devotee always thinks of God. His life's all activities are oriented around that God principle. The center of his being is now that Lord. Dharmartha kama moksha hi purusharthas chaturvidha tebhya shresthatara bhaktir mata bhagavatottamahi. Now this devotion, this liking, this love for God may get expressed in various ways. That way and means that medium of the expression will depend on the profile of that devotee, how he thinks God will be pleased. So some will think that, oh, how mother comes to a child. When child is playing, that mother gets herself engaged in household work. When that child gets bored from that playing, she may give it another toy to play. And then afterwards, when he says that no, I don't want any toy, I want you only, and then he starts weeping and crying. That time mother leaves her work and then runs to him and takes it in her lap. So if I cry and weep, then God will be pleased, and then He will respond and come. then that crying will be an expression of devotion. If somebody thinks, no, I will please God by dancing and singing and playing instruments, so then he can do that, so that bhajan, kirtan, that music will be an expression of Lord. Somebody will think, no, I will make idols of him, statues of him, pictures of him, so that art, fine art, that sculptor, that painting, drawing, that will become expression of devotion. Somebody will say, no, God is in this creation. So if I serve, if I do something for this creation to make it better, then that God will be pleased. So he goes on serving, and that becomes the expression of devotion. Somebody said, no, God is so much universal person, so how I will pay my gratitude and reverence to him. So let me have a symbol, and then I will do elaborate worship of that symbol. Then he takes that one symbol, and that ideal is worshipped in that symbol. Because how we can put, suppose garland we have to put to honor. So how we can put garland to this whole universal God, whose head is up to Brahmaloka, whose feet up to Patala Loka. So that is impracticable, impossible. Therefore that idol is taken, and to which we can offer flowers, we can wave lamps, we can offer food, we can give in the beginning bath, etc. We can meditate on that, because that comes in the range of our sense organs. We can look at it, we can bring him in our heart and then contemplate over there. And in this way we will just remain in that thought. Afterwards then we will realize that God, will have the vision of that God. So in this way that puja will become the expression of bhakti. So whatever the mental makeup is there of that devotee, accordingly all these actions will become bhakti. But bhakti itself is an abstract feeling of mainly mind, and to that bhakti which having this foundation of knowledge, of course intellect also. Further Guruji says, Punya Rupotra Vai Dharma Sakama Swarga Prapakaha Kshayat Punyasya Tannashas Tasman Nechanti Tam Buddhaha. Here, dharma is in the form of righteous merits earned through desire prompted meritorious deeds, whose result is heaven. Wise people do not desire it because it perishes at the exhaustion of merits. Now earlier they said dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and dharma is acquiring merits by doing good acts of social service, etc. and fire rituals also, yajna, yaga, homa, havana. So what is the result of that? That is punya. Punya rupaha atra vai dharmaha. The result of such noble acts which are prescribed in our scriptures. So the result of that is merit, punya. Sakama swarga prapaka. If we do those acts with a desire in mind, with a specific intention for which I am propitiating that deity, so that after that deity is pleased, it will give me that boon. So that is maximum we can attain swarga, maximum we can go to heaven and enjoy there this subtle, all objects of enjoyment in subtle form. Therefore we also take subtle form of the body. With this gross body, very limited enjoyment is possible. But with that subtle body, infinite enjoyment is possible. Kshayat punyasya tannashaha tasmat nechanti tam buddha. But one defect is there. whatever merit we have acquired by doing those 5 rituals, etc. After finishing that, when that gets exhaust, we have to come back to this earth only. That is not eternal, that is not forever. Only till that punya is spent, till that time we can enjoy heavenly joy, etc. Kshayat punyasya tannasha tasmat nechanti tam buddha. And therefore, those who want permanent, eternal happiness, they don't seek this dharma. They don't go for doing all these rituals or good actions, etc. They may do, but without desire of sarga. Their intention is not to acquire sarga and having citizenship of or a green card for sarga, heaven. Acha. So in this way, dharma is they have told that how the limitations of dharma actually, that is good compared to adharma, that is definitely good. But means doing good things, good deeds is always advisable compared to doing harmful things. But that is not ultimate. Then next, Guruji says, Manashuddhi karo dharmo nishkamo yoga sadhakah arthakama vubhau loke kevalau bhogadayakau. So when that dharma is done without any intention meaning not egocentric desires. I want happiness, I will be immortal, I will go to heaven. So not like this egocentric desires, but desire for devotion of God, desire for knowledge of God, desire for purification of the mind, so that I will be a fit student to think, contemplate, understand, retain in my mind this all knowledge. So this is called nishkama. This is desireless merits. When we acquire merit in such a way, for noble cause, that is called nishkama, desireless performance of good deeds, that manashuddhi kara, that purifies our mind. Dharma without selfish desires purifies the mind and is helpful in yoga. The pursuit of wealth and pleasure both give only worldly enjoyment. Acha. And artha kama, dharma, artha kama, moksha. So first we are dealing with these three, dharma, artha, kama. So about dharma it is said that nishkama, without any intention, desireless, it is to be done. That will purify our mind. Artha kama ubhau loke kevalau bhogadayakau. But acquiring wealth, acquiring money, that will lead to enjoyment and all indulgence, etc. And kama, fulfilling all the desires of enjoyment. So these two are just for here only, and they will just degrade you and they will just decay the strength of the organs of actions, etc. And slowly this body will die. So not much desired returns we get from this, unless and until that artha means funds, whatever we have, that money we use for charity, we give that for a noble work and for downtrodden, etc. Then that will earn for us merit. That is again like this dharma. Then whether with intention we have given that charity, then only for limited time, sarga sukha, we will go to heaven, come back again. If we are doing that without any intention for devotion of God, etc., then definitely they will purify our mind. Then kama, desire also. If this enjoyments desire that I should see that, I should go there, I should eat this, I should wear such clothes, and I should smell this fine fragrance, In this way, and I should hear this music. So in this way, when selfish desires prompts us to seek and search that, then that is not good, that is not advisable. And artha kama, but desire, if kama means desire, if that kama is of liberation, I have desire to get liberated, that is muksha. I have desire to get knowledge, that is jidnasa. I have desire to do spiritual practices. I have desire to serve Lord. In this way, if those desires are very high type and very sublimate, then those desires helps us in having that moksha, the last and final purushartha, the pursuit of life. But generally it is not. Therefore, this wealth and desires just lead to worldly enjoyment. That's what Guruji says. Abhi now, 5th verse, he says, Muktirvai mochanam vidhi jara marana sansrute vilakshana hi bhaktistu shuddha prema rasatmika. Bhakti and mukti both are compared here. Understand liberation to be released from the cycle of old age and death. However, devotion, which is of the nature of blissful pure love, is quite unique. Guruji says, Muktir vai mochanam. Liberation means becoming free, getting free, independent. Jara marana sanskriti, from which? From the bondage of jara marana, old age and death. So relieving oneself from that pangs of old age and death, that is called mukti, liberation. Vilakshana hi bhaktistu shuddha prema rasatmika. But devotion is other than that, different than that. It has a separate characteristics, and that is shuddha prema rasatmika. This is full of happiness and full of pure love for Lord. Now here in Srimad Bhagavat, the definition of this mukti comes as muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. Having abandoned the erroneous notions of liberation, erroneous notions about ourselves, that I am body, etc. Having abandoned that, establishing ourselves in how really we are, what essential nature of us. So in that establishing, that is mukti. Means being what we are really, that is mukti, and just giving up other wrong ideas or misgivings about mukti. So after living that, I just remain myself, how naturally I am. So muktirvai mochanam vidhi jara marana sanskrute. Jara is old age, and old age we know. So many, it is very good word in English for old age, infirmity, where firmness doesn't remain. Firmness not in limbs. This now our knees tremble, and we may just fall down. They are not able to carry the weight of the body. So limbs also. Then mind also. Confidence goes. Earlier, women said that earlier I used to cook for even 100 people. But now even 2 people come, then I just doubt whether I will be able to cook or not. Earlier I used to travel anywhere alone, but now while crossing the road, I have to 10 times see here and there and stand there only. So in this mind also becomes fickle. Then intellect also, they tend to forget things. Slowly this insomnia because of loss of sleep, etc. And then Alzheimer. and these all diseases come because of which we tend to forget. So intellect, mind, our all organs also not hearing properly, not seeing properly. So infirmity in all sense. That is old age, and old age is always caught by various diseases. So the whatever diseases that we come through from childhood or youth, compared to that, so many diseases are there in old age, like now this sugar and BP, C to C, A to Z. So like from common cold, constipation, cancer, and all that, now corona. See, so many diseases that old age is always vulnerable to acquire and get contract. So this jara is very pitiable and painful stage of life. And one thing is that childhood comes and goes, gives way to youth. Youth comes and goes, gives this place to the adulthood. Adulthood comes and goes, and then we are old. But this youth, this old age comes but never goes. We only go before that. So it stays till the death. So in this way, Jara Marana Sansrute. And Marana is very fearful stage, fearful event for ordinarily who has not studied this. Marana is inauspicious, thought as inauspicious, but actually those who think, they don't say that no, death is inauspicious. Like Swatantra Veer Vinayak Damodar Savarkar said, Ye Mahan Mangal Mrityo Ye. Oh, great auspicious death, you come. And then he says, Avadhyami, Ajarami, Amarami. Who will kill me? I am death myself. So I am the substratum on which this birth and death, both the things happen. Both the things come and go. So I am that platform, unchangeable and not subject to birth or death. So that is the knowledge given by Upanishads. But generally, when we see death, death is a change. Death is a type of modification. As this body goes, earlier also so many modifications. As we are born, that time so different body is there. And in the due course, which keep on changing that body. Every day it changes. Same way that death is just, and all the elements, they also go in their own form from which this body is earlier made. So disintegration happens, and air goes to air, fire goes to fire, earth goes to earth. So in this way, this death is that change. Like how bird changes to flower, flower changes to fruit, fruit changes to seed, seed changes to sprout, sprout changes to sapling, sapling changes to tree, and again that cycle goes. In the same way, this is also one modification, avasthantar, death. And unless and until death is there, we can't celebrate birth. If all the people, all the things are there and nobody faces death, nobody is subject to death, then where will be the place to stay? And that will be also not sapless life, that will be. So since this end is there, then whatever life is there, that is attractive to us. Muktirva emochanam vidhi jara marana sansrutehe. But definitely that is not a thing to be feared or feel sorrow. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna Bhagavan says so many times that I am death. Kalosmi loka kshaykrit pravruddho lokan samaharto yaha pravruttaha. Kalaha asmi. Kalo kalayatam asmi. In 10th chapter also, in 9th chapter also he says, Mrityu, death I am. If that Lord Sri Krishna is death, then the diseases which are the messenger of death, they are the angels. So as train wheel began, before starting, earlier it used to give 3 sirens. So first siren, second siren, third siren. So we have to be ready and we have to just board on the train. Other this drama before that, three bells. So in the same way, when we get this infirmity, then all the strength of our body and sense organs etc. decays. So that is second siren. Disease comes, third siren, and slowly we should be ready. When we are born, that time only this date is fixed. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityuh. It is very certain for that who has born to face the death. So therefore, knowing this truth, knowing this reality, we should be ready to face death from beginning only. And how that we can do? By knowing our eternal, immortal nature. Only this body has born, only this body will face death and not me. I am other than body. So acquiring and getting established in that knowledge will make us prepared to face death. Muktirvai mochanam viddhi jara marana samsritehi vilakshana hi bhaktistu shuddha prem rasatmikaha. About this death, it is said in Advaita Makarandam that what is birth and death, both very nice definitions are given. That prag abhavaha charamakshanam. Birth is the last moment of earlier absence. When a thing is made, or thing is born, or thing comes into existence, before that its earlier absence is there. So the last moment of that is birth. Suppose there was just clay and pot was not there. So earlier absence of pot is there. So the last moment of that earlier absence is this birth of pot. And what is death? Death is the posterior absence. First moment of the posterior absent. Means prag abhavasya charamakshana and pradhvansa abhavasya prathamakshana mrityu. So it is said that posterior absence starts at one moment, that moment is death. So now suppose this pot is there, so that is broken and all clay is there now. So afterwards there is absence of that pot. So the first moment of that posterior absence of the pot is death, technically. And if we can just imbibe in us the third person view, like objectivity about all the things that happen in my life, we can objectify our mind and we can objectify the events that happen. So that time we will be able to see this death. In the life of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, it is said that when he was very young age of 16 years old, 17 years old, at that time he was just went to his uncle's home, and there somebody of the relatives had passed away. And he saw that body lying there still and steady and lifeless body without responding anything, but full body was there. And he that was great impactful scene for him. And in that house there was a upper story, so that he went there, and then nobody was there, so he acted dying. He acted that death. So he lied down on the ground and stopped all the functions of the sense organs etc., organs of action. Mind also came to stand still. Intellect also stopped its function of cause and thing. And then he was as good as dead, and even this breathing is also become so subtle that as if it is not there. And that time he saw that something in him, the core of his personality, is watching this. It is not going through this process of death. It is just watching it From inside, outside, everywhere it is there. So in this way, he found that entity, that consciousness, that awareness is me. And then he decided that I will acquire the firm and clear knowledge of that. I will get first hand experience of that, and for that whatever I want I will do. Then he left the home and came to Tiruvannamalai, Arunachalam. So this experience of death transformed his, and as if earlier lives or spiritual practices, it reminded of it, and then it started. So in this way, Marana. Then Vilakshana hi bhakti stu shuddha prema rasatmika. Bhakti is different than that. It is not ridden by sorrow. It is all juicy fruit, sweet and full of happiness, love. We can just imagine if a person is in love with this mortal only, maybe a thing or an animal or a place or any work, any act or a person. So how much happy he is. When one is in love, how much happy is he, gets some happiness from that. So when there is universal love, when Sarvatma Bhav is there, as my own self we love. Yesterday we saw that we love that which gives us happiness. We love most ourselves, and therefore our self is of the nature of happiness, bliss. So when like ourselves we love others, all the people around us, all the things, all the creatures. So that time what a vast treasure of happiness is open to us. So that will be the great bliss. So in that way, that also it is said, Guruji says that they say that love thy labor. And we also take pledge that I love my country. I love my brothers and sisters in the country, countrymen. But practically when we start, then even our family members, very near and dear ones, with whom we stay, and our neighbors and all, our colleagues and our other comrades, so that is very difficult to love, because we come to know their limitations, their intentions, foul intentions, etc. So the Guruji says, if you can't love all the people, love that one who is all. So if you are devoted to God, then God is there residing in everybody's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridaya sannivishtam. Sarvasya hridaya sannivishtam. So if we can't love all, love that one which is all. Almighty, all pervading, all powerful, all knowing Lord. Further, Guruji says here, now in a subtopic, in Bhakti Sudhaa, subtopic, Bhakti Lakshanam, the characteristics or nature or qualities of this Bhakti, how we can know that. 6th verse, we'll read. Ishvare paramam prema bhaktirityavidhiyate asaktir vishaya prema dehadara gruhadishu. Supreme love for God is called as devotion, whereas love for objects, one's body, wife, house, etc. is attachment. Ishvare paramam premam bhakti rityavidhiyate. Love in that Lord, which is the master and owner of this all creation, which is the creator, sustainer and annihilator of this universe. Love towards him is called as devotion, and love towards our house, our all properties, our body and all our things that we say mine, that is called attachment or sneha, just love for objects. Asaktir vishaya prema deha dara grihadishu. And you see, we always have this, that yes, definitely I like my body, I love my body. Therefore, we don't spend that much time in even worship of the God, which we spend in pampering this body. You see, full 16 fold worship is done to this body. Shodasha Upachara Puja, so many times. So you first, when we get up, then all brushing teeth, etc., taking bath, wiping clearly, and offering clothes to wear. And for that, so much interest we take to buy different clothes for different seasons, etc., different incidences. And then we apply all the ointments, creams, etc. Some cream is like vanishing cream. Thanks God that one don't get vanished after applying that. Then like bhasma charcha and gandha, ointment, etc. So same way, this vanishing creams, etc. Then whatever ornaments we have to put. Nowadays, this all ornaments of electronic gadgets, one in ear, etc. Then afterwards, offering food. And that food offering we do at least 5 times a day. Once this tea, coffee, milk, bonvita, and then snacks and breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, and in between also okay. Even if I am not hungry, it is okay. Batata vada, okay. Ice cream, will do. Coffee, welcome. So many times food offering to us. So we do worship of this body. Why? Because we have love for this body, and that is called attachment. Because that will result in making us weep only. That will give pangs of separation, because one day this body is to be taken away from you. One day we have to leave it here only. One day we will be separate. So bereavement is there. And second thing also, body is inert actually. And it is made up of links, so subject to destruction. And that way also this body we have not prepared. Even though we say my body, we have not manufactured it. Neither we know about it. What is happening inside the body? We don't know that. It is said that cancer, when it is detected, even in the first, second, third stage, before that 7 years, it was in body and making its all post very strong. So even if one organ is cut, radical surgery, it is just flourishing at another so many places in the body, and that we all don't know till our medical report comes. Yes, this nodule is malignant. Till that time we don't come to know, because pain is not there. In that way, pain is a blessing actually. If pain is there, definitely we doubt and check why for pain. There may be something wrong. But now here Murphy's rule. When everything is going smooth, something wrong is there somewhere. So in this way, asakti visha deha, for this body. Then we try to make it immortal also. We just superimpose that self's characteristics of immortality on this body. Life-giving medicines, and these life-giving medicines themselves have expiry date. So they themselves will be unusable after that. So deha. Then dar means patni. Dar means our wife. So spouse, you can say spouse, wife for husband, husband for wife. So in that also so much attachment is there. In Bhagavad it is said, a person may offer all the things to the service of the Guru or saints, sages, etc. But he will never offer his wife for them. Come, please feel free and stay here. take it as your own home. Then children also, then mother, father also. But wife, no. So in this way, the man has so much possessiveness, attachment, and also, of course, woman also has. And therefore, when that other woman comes in his life, then that is the most problem for him. Gurudev says very nice story about that actually. So dehadara gruhadishu. Sometimes later we will see that. That is called asakti, the love, the attachment that we have. And this my house, I have built it. One person was also so much proud of his house. In Mumbai he was staying, and great big house and all the things from different countries, Brazilian mirrors, Italian tiles, and this all the things. So he used to bring many people and show all the house so that they will appreciate him, recognize his aesthetic sense, etc. And once one sadhu came, saint came, and he, as his usual habit, he invited him also to his house for bhiksha, etc. And then before that, he showed him all the things in the house. So there was one map, big map hung on the wall, world map. So that sadhu saw these all things, and then he said, "Oh, where is India in this map?" So India is here. See here, this is India. Oh, where is Mumbai in that? Mumbai is this dot. This fine spot is that Mumbai. And where is this place and your house? Oh, that is not seen in this house, in this map. He said, Acha. Means compared to this whole universe, this India itself is very little, like a thumb. And in that Mumbai is like a spot only. And in that, our house is nothing. Then that person was also intelligent. So he understood that whatever, however big I have done, that is compared to the totality, it is nothing. So I should not be proud of it. Shruti says that you are infinite self. And we say that I am this much. I am this much educated, this much successful, this much wise, this much good, this much youthful, this is beautiful. But whatever that limitation is there, so that must be very less than compared to that infinity. So therefore, no need of having any attachment and also pride in these things. Asaktir Vishaya Prema Dehadara Gruhadishu. Further Guruji says, Ahankaram tatha swartham tyaktva saktim gruhadishu Saheshwarena tadatmyam paramam prema kathyate. Total identification with God, renouncing ego, selfishness, and attachment to house, etc., is called supreme love. So, what is that supreme devotion? The highest devotion. Ahankaram tatha swartham. Ahankar, I-ness, ego. Swartha, selfishness. Tyaktva, asakting gruhadeshu. And also attachment to this house, etc. House, body, wife, husband, family. Having abandoned that, tattva, having left that, saha ishwarana tadatmyam. I belong to the Lord, Lord belongs to me. So now I am for Him. So my full life now I will be devoted, I will be servant of Him. Saha ishwarana tadatmyam. Tadatmyam is tat eva atma. Means that only is myself. Lord is myself. Tadatmyam, identification, oneness with that Lord. Paramam prema kathyate, and that is the supreme love. When one gets this supreme love, then all the things, whatever we feel that big, but they are just become trifle, and actually he is transported in another realm of being. In case of many devotees, we have find from this. And when devotee reaches to such a supreme devotion, that is called here, then God takes care of his duties in this world. He has very many novel ways that we can't even imagine. Saha Ishwarena Tadatmyam Paramam Prema Katyate. But for that, what things we have to abandon? First is ego, selfishness, and attachment to all the things. These three things needed to be given up. Then our mind will be free to have that supreme love and oneness with the Lord. Now, what is this ahankar? Ahankar is I-ness. If only I is there, that is okay. I am. It is okay. But I am body. I am beautiful. I am successful. I am rich. Or I am foolish. I am dull. I am diseased. So this only I am is okay. That is just being. But when we identify with some of the condition, our instruments, then that is the cause of ignorance. So with this ahankar we have to see. When this aham, actually aham is what? And hum. These two letters are there. So it is very nicely said in Yoga Vasishta. Ashiraskam hakarantam ajasrakara sansthitam. Ashiraskam hakarantam asheshakara sansthitam. All these things, beings, etc. is the form of this aham. Aham begins with ashiraskam, ha karantam, ends with ha. So that has taken form of all the things and beings around us. Ajasra Chintayanam. And in our heart, always this furan is there, this throbbing is there. I, aham, aham, aham. While breathing in, while taking air in, and leaving that, aham. This is so hum. While breathing in, so, leaving in, hum. So hum, so hum, so hum. Goes on 21,600 times, because that is the natural number of ordinary persons breathing in a day. So 21,600 times, so hum. This sadhana becomes, if we think of that. Ahankara. So many things about this ahankara in our scriptures. In Advaita Karande it is said that avashyayas chidakashe. Avashyaya means this smog. This is smoke plus fog. This smog is there. That is actually not any solid thing, but still that causes delay in landing of the flight or taking off of the flight. When sun rises and sun shines, its rays just melt this smog and then sky is clear. So in the same way, this ahankar actually is nothing. Actually just a thought modification. But it causes so much pain and sorrow in us, make us miserable. And with the knowledge, with the sun of knowledge, as if it is melted and it goes away. Ahankar still remains there, but only transactional purpose ahankar. It is called badhita anuvritti. Badhita anuvritti. It remains for transactional purpose, for practically saying that yes, I want, I will come, like this. That I will remain. But it will not bound us. It will not bind us. See how example is given that one rope is there, big rope is there, which is made up of so many other fibers. So when that is burnt, that shape of that rope remains there when it is slowly burnt. But that rope is not useful for tying anything now, because actually that is all coal and ash. So in the same way, when we know about this ahankar, what is this aham? मानसं तु किं मार्गणे कृते नैव मानसं मार्ग आर्जवात् वृत्तयस्त्वहं वृत्तिमाश्रिताः वृत्तयो मनो विद्यहं मनः विद्धि अहं मनः. This ahankar, ego only, is mind, and all the thoughts in mind have this ahankar as a common factor. In each and every thought, ahankar must be there. Unless and until ahankar, ego is not there, thought cannot be. Maybe object of the thought, texture of the thought, direction of the thought, quality of the thought may be different, but this ego will always be there. So this ego, this I thought, is mind. That is the Maya. In Vivek Chudamani, very nice verse comes about this ahankar. Ahankareva avidya. Nayastya vidya manasotirikta mano yavidya bhavabandha hetu tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam vijrumbhate smin sakalam vijrumbhate. Ahankar tatha swartham. Now swartha is also very interesting thing. Swartha, swa and artha, these two words are there. Swa means I, and artha means demand, whatever I want. Swa artha. One very famous sentence of Swami Akhandananda ji from North India, popular saint. Here his sentence is there. जब स्व असीम हो जाता है, स्वार्थ परमार्थ में परिणत हो जाता है. So when the notion of I becomes infinite, real I, that time selfishness is turned into the spiritual practices or selflessness. So earlier I think this body is me. When newborn baby is there, and when it becomes around 1 year old, then this ego starts blossoming up in that body mind assemblage. Earlier it was packed. When earlier person died in earlier birth, that was packed. So now after 1 year or around 1 year, it gets unpacked, and then he starts projecting, this is my mother, this is my hand, this is my toy. So in this way, I, mine, and to me, this all starts. Ahankara. Tatha swartham. So earlier they say that I am body. They think that wrong notion is there. Then slowly afterwards, my friend, my family, my wife, my children, so that my little bit increased to cover its near and dear ones, family, etc. Then if we read and think and serve, then my community, my society, then still more my country. So this periphery of this aham, ego, is increasing. And if we go to philosophy and think that my humanity, my universe, my cosmos, and then this myness, this I-ness becomes so vast, like Om. These vibrations of Om, they become wider and wider to include in them all the universe, all the 14 universe and infinite number of universe, Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. So that time the person gets that stature without reference to body, etc. Now he has left that behind in his meditation. So nice. So swartha. If such swartha is there, good, but generally it is relating to body identification only, swartha. and that way everybody is selfish. Gurudev once said very nicely, selfish, he is selfish, let him be. You become the self-ish, let others sell fish. In that word of selfish only he is playing. Don't be selfish, be self-ish, means master of you, lord of you, your mind, etc. And let others sell fish, so let them sell fishes. That is very bad odor thing, foul smell. Ahankaram tatha swartham tyaktva asaktim gruhadishu. Now how to abandon this attachment to house and all other things? So just think that my forefathers, my great grandfathers, etc., were staying on this earth, and then now they have gone, they have passed away, and I am here. So slowly this passage of time, this flow of time will wipe off me also, then my son, my children, then my grandchildren, then my great grandchildren, they will come. So in this way I am just for some temporary time here. So what is point to get attached to something? And anyway I will not be able to take this house, etc., with me, neither I will be able to transfer that in terms of money to other world. So therefore no need. And it is not that after 100 years only I will have to leave this. That moment can come anytime. Other things we have that expiry date on that, but on our body or for ourselves it is not known when that date will come. So always remain detached for that. And practically you see Gurudev gives one nice example for this. He says that one has sat on chair in one room. So he does one experiment, he gets himself tied to the chair. Now he tries to get up and go into another room, but just he dashes one furniture, and from door also it is very difficult to pass on, and all the way it is inconvenient only. In the same way, when we get tied with this house, etc., all the things, then very difficult to make move. This attachment will just leave us miserable. So therefore be in the house, but don't allow house remain in you. Like yesterday we saw, let the boat be in the water, but water should not be in the boat. That is dangerous. Tyaktva asaktim gruhadishu saha ishvarena tadatmyam paramam prema kathyate. And with that God, identification and oneness is this. And actually how this is done, how this oneness with God is done. So for that only one thing we have to do, we have to forget ourselves. When we leave identification with ourselves, that is enough. God is already all pervading. He is there inside and outside also, as to all the sides, right, left, up, down, all the sides He is there. Therefore only when we give up our identification with this false me, that is enough. When this ego is dissolved, automatically this reflection is merged in that sun. Ishvara, further he says, Ishvara sarvabhutana bhutatma sarvadharopi vaitatah kalyane sarvabhutanam ratir bhaktir matottama. Very nice composition. Play of words is very nice. God is the self of all beings and the substratum of all. Therefore, reveling in the welfare of all beings is considered as the best devotion. Now this is different facet of bhakti, different dimension of bhakti. Ishvara sarvabhutatma. God is the self of all beings. Sarvadharaha, support of all, substratum of all, base of all, foundation of all. Tataha, therefore, Kalyane Sarvabhutanam, and therefore welfare of all the things and beings. Ratihi, interest and liking and getting involved and reveling in that efforts to make welfare, bring welfare and development of all. Benevolence, Bhaktir Matottama, and that is devotion to Him because He is the self of all. So, whatever we do service that reaches to Him, in essence, everything and being is He, therefore, it reaches to Him. Very nice. Kalyane Sarvabhutanam Ratir Bhaktir Matottama. That is the great worship, that is the great devotion. We see great saints and sages, seers and devotees of all times and places. They engage themselves in work. Without any rest, they just go on working. They use full strength and energy and capacities of their bodies, etc., for the welfare of others. So much sincerity, so much concern, so much dedication, so much consistency. They serve the world. The reason is this: because they know that in each and every being resides that Lord to whom they are much devoted. So therefore, where to go and search that Lord to serve? This world is in front of us, available all the time for us to serve. One day what happened? One youth came to Swami Vivekananda and he said, I want some guidance from you for samadhi, dhyan, etc., absorption and meditation. I try so much. I go in a solitude and one alone I stay there and I try to concentrate my mind, etc. I close all doors and windows so that no sound, etc., should come from outside. But I don't get the samadhi. You please try and guide me. Swami Vivekananda told him, you open your windows of your house, you open the doors of your house and you look out. You will see that there is need of your service everywhere. You will see the poor and hungry and old people and disabled people. You go there, serve, give them whatever is possible. That will pave the way for your absorption. Because God resides there. Why you close your doors and windows of the room? Jana Seva, Janardan Seva. Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. And this God, it is not that only in good people He is there. He is there in each and every, whatever, however He behaves here. So they say that Narayan, Rogi Narayan, Bhogi Narayan, Yogi Narayan, Krodhi Narayan. So one must learn to see Lord even in passion, even in lust, even in storms of feelings. Ishvara sarvabhutanam sarvadharopi vaitataha kalyane sarvabhutanam ratir bhaktir matottama. And this thing is demonstrated by Adi Shankaracharya. 32 years lifespan, but what tremendous work he has done. Our 32 lives also, if we keep on studying, that will not get exhausted. And throughout the world, the best cream, elite of this all world, very intelligent people, study his literature. Completely nation transforming, nation building philosophy he has given. It is same, but just explained to us very lovingly. Swami Vivekananda, Param Poojya Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya. Further, Guruji says, विषयैकस्थिता शक्तिर्धर्म विज्ञाननाशिनी अनर्थकारिणी एषा हेया श्रेयोर्थिभिः सदा. Attachment centered on a particular object destroys dharma and knowledge. It is calamitous, and hence those who desire their own welfare should renounce it. Vishaya ekasthita asaktihi dharma vijnana nashini anarthakarini hi esha heya shreyah arthibhi sada. This attachment and complete attachment, lopsided and one-sided attachment to these objects of indulgence, that destroys our merit and also our knowledge, and that brings us a fall, a problem, and therefore it is to be given up by those who want their good to happen. When one is attached to something, to have that object of attachment, to keep it with him, he can go to any extreme, and even he will not see the ethics that time and morality or any laws, etc. Kamaturanam bhayam na lajja, arthaturanam gururna bandhu, shudhaturanam ruchirna vela. When one is very greedy of money, then even father or brother or friend comes, that time also in his mind calculation comes, how much I can extract from him. Even if somebody is dying and he has to go there, there also he think that what mileage, political mileage I will get from this visit. So in this way, this attachment to wealth, etc., that doesn't allow you to remain a sensible human being. It just decreases our dignity and makes us fall to the level of a beast, a wild animal. And therefore, one who wants that his good should happen, then they should be very alert, and all the thoughts like this, they should give up, and from the root only this attachment is to be given. What is the root of attachment, by the way? I-ness is the root, because whatever I am attached to, that is for me, that is good for me, therefore I am attached. So I, this ahankar, ego is the root, and that ego is born from ignorance of the self. So self-knowledge is a good antidote. If not, then at least egolessness, and that all comes by thinking, inquiry. In this way, this thing we should follow if we want to develop devotion in us. Now Guruji changes the topic and he says the uniqueness of devotion is what? How it is unique, how it is great, how it is different than all other spiritual practices. He says, 10th sloka, Vishishta yogyata peksha jnana yoga kriyadeshu adhikarastu sarvesham bhakti yoge vinabhidam. Special qualifications are required of individuals for entering the path of knowledge, yoga, karma, etc., whereas all without distinction are eligible for the yoga of devotion. Vishishta yogyata apeksha. It is expected that special eligibility, special qualification are needed for Jnana, Yoga, Kriya, Adi issue. Means all other paths of spirituality, that knowledge, Vedanta, then Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, Kriya Yoga, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Kriya, and Kriya, various going to pilgrimage, giving this charity, then keeping reciting all the texts again and again, Parayan, Havan, Home, all the things. Adhikarastu sarvesham bhakti yoge vinavidam. But in bhakti yoga, everybody is fit, everybody is eligible to do without any qualificatory demands. So without any distinction, without any differentiation, that yes, he is intelligent, he is dull. So like this, without any distinction, for path of devotion, all are eligible. Everybody can do it. How? How there are no distinctions? So they say that the capital of love, what is required for devotion, is already there. Each and every being, even though animals also, animals, birds, etc. also, they also have this capital of love with them. Only the thing is that at present that capital is invested in all other worldly things, which actually doesn't give us returns, and that is actually loss only, in that business loss only. So we have to collect all the capital invested in such things which is not good for business, and then we have to invest that capital of love, our attention, our like, that in the feet of Lord, so that from there we will get double benefit. So it is double benefit scheme, and lot of profit we will get of, in the terms of happiness and all the things, success, fulfillment, this fame in the world. Guruji himself will say further, when you become devoted to the Lord, people become devoted to you. When you worship the Lord, the devotees worship you. When you think that it is important, it is prominent, it is first preference, so they, others, followers, do that unto you. So in this way, fame and all the things you get, when you collect that love which is misplaced in wife and husband and house and everything, okay, then do you mean that I should not love my family, etc.? It is not that. You should love them as a form of God. Earlier we saw that Sarvasya Chaham Hridisannivishta, and then Ishvaras Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. In each and every being, God is there. So in the heart of all these people, Lord is there, and to Him you are devoted. So you should speak very sweet words to them. You should be very humble to them. You should be always cooperative and taking care of them, and trying to serve them, trying to make them please, protect them. And if children are there, you give them good values. But as a service to that Lord Baby Krishna, Bala Krishna. Wife is there. Now it is said that wife also is the form of that goddess. So you respect her, behave with dignity to her. Husband also, Lord is itself. So have full respect and obedience and cooperation. So in this way, this family life also will be then with so much harmony. And actually that is the heritage, that is the culture of our country. So here say, for devotion or path of devotion, all the people are eligible because already they have this capacity to love. Now they have to only channelize it towards the Lord. It doesn't require any other capacity. And nobody is there devoid of love in his heart. To some or other objects, to some or other person, that love will be there. And it is not that nobody is having this love also. And devotion doesn't require any other, that lot of money you must be having, then only you can become devotee. Lot of knowledge, wisdom you should have. You must have studied Sanskrit and all, then only you can become devotee. Or school education, only PhD, that afterwards devotion is possible. Not that. You must have did all the big tasks. You must be belonging to highest clan. Your family must be well famed. No other criteria, no other eligibility is required. The basic thing is love, and that everybody has. So everybody can do devotee, and therefore path of devotion is open for all. Therefore it is said that it is easiest path. Further Guruji says, see very nicely. पश्वादयोऽपि भक्त्यैव प्राप्नुवन् परमं पदं तथा भागवती चात्र प्रमाणं हि न संशयः. Even animals etc. have attained the supreme abode through devotion alone. The story of the Lord Ramayana and Bhagavat is undoubtedly proof of this fact. Pashu adayah api bhaktya eva prapnuvan paramam padam tatha bhagavati chatra pramanam hi na samshaya. Even animals through devotion have attained the highest abode, the highest place, and this is what we know from the stories in Srimad Bhagavat, Ramayana, etc. And that is the authenticate means to know these things and no doubt about it. Achha, which are the animals that have obtained this Lord's devotion and thereby knowledge to get salvation? So in Ramayana, story of Jatayu comes. Jatayu is a vulture, a bird that is not wanted much. I don't know anybody who has a pet as Jatayu, the vulture. So it is flesh-eating vulture, and it comes in stories that whenever a person is dying, they always just whirl in the hover in the sky and waiting when he will be died, we will eat its flesh. So such a vulture, when it just overcame these earlier tendencies, and then he developed that love and offered that to Sri Ram and served him in whatever way it was possible. Then he got that devotion and he was just lifted by the Lord to higher pedestal. Actually, when Ravan was kidnapping Sri Bhagavati Sita Mata, that time Sri Ram and Lakshman were not there, and this Jatayu, he was there sitting on the tree, he was perched on the tree, and then he challenged Ravan. First he told him, just explained and advised him that it is not good for you. When the person is not there and you are taking his wife away, etc., etc. The lady that belongs to other person is like a poison, for it gives so much sin. And then naturally sorrow will come to that person. but he was not in a mood of listening this preaching, etc. So he kept on taking her. And that time, then he came and started fighting with us. What weapons he had, all his uh, feathers and wings and teeth and beak, sharp beak, and nails, that claws. So with that he tried to fight. And at last Ravan just took his sword and cut his wing. And naturally then he was there lying on the floor. Meaning he was not successful in rescuing Sita from Ravana's possession. But still Bhagwan Lord blessed him with the higher birth. And what was his earlier? So in this way, Pashvadayopi Bhakteva Prapnuvan Paramam Padam. And Bhagavat, he says, it's Katha Bhagavati Chatra Pramanam in Samshaya. In Bhagavat also so many stories come. Gajendra Moksha, that is a famous story, comes in Bhagavat. That he is a leader of elephant herd. So he was very strong and therefore very proud also of his strength. And all this, his herd was comprising of many female elephants and children, etc. And when he went to that, he was feeling hot. It was summer. And when he went in that big lake, there stayed an alligator there. Alligator or crocodile. And then he caught his feet. And then he was dragging him in the water. All other elephants, etc., they tried to pull him out. He himself tried all his might, but was of no help. And then at last Guruji says that instead of making the Lord your last resort, make him the first resort. Means from the beginning only, treat that the doctor is Lord, the helper, whoever helps us, who gives us sympathy to remove that distress, that is Lord himself. Lord has appeared me in front of me to help me in this form. So in this way, make the Lord your first resort. And here, thanks God, at last, at the end, this Gajendra, the king of elephants, he remembered Lord, and in his mind only he prayed him with a good hymn. Actually he was some king in the earlier birth, and that time he was devotee to God. Therefore he has bioted many hymns. So those all came to his mind at that last emergency, crisis time. And then he praised Lord, prayed Lord, and Lord came there on the back of the regal eagle. And first he just took that alligator and then gave him this liberation. And then he gave to Gajendra also. Gajendra also afterwards said that I don't want only freedom from this alligator, but I want liberation in this world of birth and death, this hell and heaven, all that duality. So give me that knowledge. Pashvadayopi bhakteva prapnuvan paramam padam katha bhagavati chatra pramanam nahi samshayaha. So just now what we say, animals and birds, they also have this treasure of love with them. They also can channelize this towards Lord. So what to speak of human being, which has got so much evolved emotions and also choice to apply that in a profitable endeavor. Further, Guruji says, this from Bhagavad only reference he is giving. Kamadveshad bhayad vapi vairabhavena sarvada ये स्मरन्ति च तं देवं तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम्. Those who constantly remember the Lord, even out of possession, hatred, fear, or enmity, they too attain the supreme goal. What else we want really? He says, Kamat means out of lust, desire, infatuation. Dveshat, out of hatred, out of disgust. Bhayat, out of fear, being afraid of the Lord. Va api, or Vairabhavena, as an enemy, with full animosity. Lord is my first, number one enemy, foe, sarvada, always, and all other also feelings. Yes, Maranti Chatam Devam. With these feelings also, emotions also, those who remember God, they api yanti param gatim. Even they also come, they also go, they also reach that higher state, that state beyond all the sorrows and pains of life. Meaning, whatever emotions that we have, all that we can direct to the Lord, and thereby we can always make Lord as the object of our remembrance, object of our thinking, reflecting, and all our thought modifications, and thereby we can got that Lord's status. But as we enjoy and as we get happiness when we remember Him with love, devotion, that happiness is not there when we love Him because of these emotions. That is the difference. But okay, if we can't be devoted to Him in this very pleasant way, then at least with this distorted Vikrut Bhavana. You see, what is lust? Lust is that which I feel that it's I get, if I get this, if I enjoy this, then there will be happiness to me. And that has come out of the feeling of incompleteness in me, when actually self is complete, perfect. But that ignorance about that perfection makes us feel that I am imperfect, and when I get that, then I will be complete and perfect. So this lust has come from ignorance only. And also this body is me. So make it, now what is lust? This actually sense of touch, this thrill, what one observes, that is sense of touch. So that is just indulgence only, and neither this object, neither this sense organ, and neither the desire, and afterwards immediately repentance follows. Afterwards we curse ourselves that how I fall in so much ditch of this sense indulgence. Actually I can raise myself up to the heights of Godhood. So in this way, Kamat. Now Dvesha. What is hatred? It is said that hatred is a distorted form of respect. So we have got respect for certain thing in our mind, and I don't have that thing, or I can do that thing, but other is doing that, other is having that. So then the distorted form of that respect is hatred. So actually that hatred is respect only, but opposite, rotten form of that respect. Yesterday we saw that how one feeling, in this negativity we can overcome, and all can be overcome by service to teacher. Okay, so in this way Dvesha, we can develop respect for them by making it our own. Suppose mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. So when otherness is there, then she will see its defects. But when she will say that she is my daughter-in-law, she is my family member, she is wife of my son. So when this minus will come, this all defects will change into some great qualities, in some specific abilities. Attitude changes perception, and then our remarks, our commentaries, our decisions, that also changes. Also, one more way to look at these things, that whatever I have, whatever people I am surrounded by, what people, so they all are the result of my past action. So I must take responsibility and I must own that yes, I did such and such thing, therefore they all are around me. And when they now become the product of my past actions, then why to hate, why to have disgust? Actually, I should thank them that they are making available to enjoy the fruit of the result of my past actions. They have made themselves available. So their sacrifice is good. So I should thank them. Kamat, Deshat, Bhayat. Bhayat means fear. That fear is also a very intense feeling, because of which we concentrate more on the fear, object of fear. Now suppose I am fearful of exam, or I am fearful of giving interview, I am fearful of public speech, then naturally our mind will revolve on that object. So when we are fearful of God, it is called said God-fearing people. When we are fearful of God, to a small child also we say, don't do this, otherwise God will punish you. Don't speak lie, otherwise God will cut your ear. So at least in the beginning, that fear is there. So we think of that. And then afterwards we come to know, oh, that God is so merciful, so compassionate, so forgiving, so large-hearted, so accepting all the people. And He is the object of love, object of devotion, object of reverence, instead of fear. But okay, till that time it is fear. At least from the emotion of fear, one who remembers God, he is also attends his good. And then it comes about that fear also, so many things are there that we can contemplate. And then Vairabhavena, God is my enemy. So when we just put ourselves in the opposite party of the God, then definitely enemy always troubles us from front or from backward. He just troubles us. So we also think of killing it and destroying him. So in this way, when we think of God in that way, but this not at all good feeling, but okay. So like Kamsa, Ravan, they had enmity. Actually, Ravan had enmity towards Sri Ramji. Kamsa had fear of the Sri Ramji because he tried so much to kill him, and 11 years he was trying to kill him by sending so many murderers. Therefore, he was very much fearful of that. While at the end, he was just used to see him in everything and get just fearful. See, while eating in that food, while drinking in that water, while sitting on the chair, while sleeping on the bed, everywhere he used to see Sri Krishna. He was 8th child, so Atva, that was he was remembering all the time. So in this way, naturally, his mind took the form of the Lord, and in that lies the secret of his upliftment. The principle is this only in all. Now Kamat, Poojya and some gopis, they were attracted towards Lord from this feeling of lust. Many were there wise and many were there great seekers and realized and knowledgeable also. But some were there, Kamat, like those gopikas who did Katyayani Vrat also. They also just wanted his company for one night. And then Dveshat, this was Shishupal, Dantavaktra, Shalva, Vidurat, Jarasandha, so many are there. They always hated and said, why people are worshipping Krishna? Why they are honoring so much to him? He is just a cowherd boy and he don't know anything. He used to steal butter etc. in the childhood, and afterwards he used to play in the jungle and swim in the waters of Yamuna etc. He is not that much great to, he is not worshipful. In this way they always hated Sri Krishna. But because of that, their mind always revolved around him. And they also got that final beatitude. So in this way, Kamat Deshat Bhayat, the principle is that Yena Kena Prakarena Mana Krishna Niveshayat. By whatever way, let your mind take the form of the Lord. Whatever be the emotion. When mind takes the form of Lord, then no other feelings, thoughts are there, and then it becomes fully concentrated on that, and then ultimate good happens of that person. Yasmaranti tamcha devam te api yanti param gatim. Very nice. Then further it is said, किं पुनर्भक्ति संयुक्ता जना देवं भजन्ति तेषां प्रेमवशात् देव स्वयं भवति सेवकः. Then what to say about those who worship God with devotion? In fact, because of their love, God himself becomes their servant. Kim punaha Bhakti Sanyuktaha Janaha Devam Bhajanti Tesham Premavashat Devaha Swayam Bhavati Sevakaha. Then what to tell about those persons who are devoted with this pleasant feeling of devotion, love, which is itself happiness giving, peace giving, and which itself is elevating. For them, God becomes himself their attendant, their helper, their servant. Acha, where does it is said? So this we see in so many stories, so many stories of lives of saints and sages, also in Bhagavat Ramayana also. Here, Srimad Bhagavat, when Yudhishthira, the eldest of Pandava brothers, he did that big organized arrangement of yajna, a big fire ritual, Rajasuya yajna, Ashwamedha yajna. So that time Sri Krishna took the task of washing feet of the saints and sages. They will come, and afterwards when they are served food, he accepted this work of taking away their leftover. So in this way, these two work he accepted. Yudhishthir allotted different works to different people. To Karna, he allotted to give charity as dakshina, etc. Different work he allotted. And Sri Krishna took this work to him. So whenever Brahmans, great Brahmans and wise people will come, he will pour water and he will wash their feet with his hand, like lotus petals, soft. What will be the fortune of those people who came there and got this? What will be their stature, their knowledge, their sadhana, spiritual practices that they did in so many earlier thousands of lives they must have did. And afterwards when they partake their food, Then afterwards he will clean that leftover, and he will take that, remove that plate, etc. from there. In this way he served them. When one is devoted to him with love, then he becomes their servant. And also nowadays, means in this current time also, Santa Ekanath is a famous example, which was devoted, Ekam is one. So he was always very firmly abided in oneness, Advait Vedanta. Many his granthas, texts are also there. Ekanathi Bhagavad, that is the commentary on the only 11th canto of knowledge of Bhagavad. Then Ekanathi Bhavartha Ramayana, he has written, that is very nice, funny one. So in this way, and many Abhangas, Hari Path, etc., Eknath Maharaj is famous. So he was staunch devotee of God, and he was a householder. Girija Bai is his wife's name, and she was also very good and perfect match for him, always doing all the house chores. And he used to call people for taking food with him, and so much 25-30 people always for every meal with him, and whoever comes from outside outstation, etc., so they will also be served food. So God himself took the form of Uddhav and Shrikhanda. The Shrikhanda is more famous, but Uddhav was also his assistant to look after all these home requirements, etc. And Uddhav, Shrikhanda was himself Shri Krishna only. So he came, and that time taps and tap water was not available inside the home. So they had to bring water from Godavari river, because in Paithan they used to say, Pratishthan Nagari. So from that river, the two big vessels of water he will bring for washing, drinking, etc. So God himself did that work, did that service to the Saint Ekanath, because Ekanath was fully devoted to Lord alone. Many stories are there about that. One devotee was there in Vrindavan, and he was pining for seeing Lord. So when he did so much japa and all the meditation, etc., then Lord just came in his dream and said that I am in Paithan, in Santa Eknath's house. There I am serving him, doing all household work. I run errand there. So he got surprised, but this was the dream. So he on foot only did the pilgrimage to Paithan. And when he came to in Paithan town city, then Godavari river was flowing, and there one person was carrying water. Then he asked him, is this Paithan? And where is the house of Eknath Maharaj? Shanti Brahma it is called. He is called. So he said, yes, you go from this road, and there you will find on the right, his house is there. Big house, you will easily recognize that. Then he went, he took water and he went. And then he went there, this devotee, as he has told address, so with that landmarks, he went there. And as usual, Santa Eknath Maharaj welcomed him, even though he was not knowing him earlier. He was all full of dust because of the travel on feet. So he made him a seat and gave water and gave full bath, gave new clothes to wear, then fed him nicely. And then when he was comfortable, he asked, so what brought you here? What should I do for you? Then he told that I got the dream by instruction by Lord that I am in your home serving you. So that time Santa Eknath also got surprised. God is serving in my home, and he has become servant in him. And then that Sekhanda disappeared at that time only. And both Eknathji was thinking, because of me, so much work God has to do. Then he was just all tears. and crying and singing Lord's name. And then God appeared there in his own original form, like four hands, etc. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Vanamala, Kaustuba, Lakshmi, that all, Mukut and Pitambar. So he gave darshan to that Brahman also, that devotee of Vrindavan also, and to Eknath Maharaj also. So here Tesham Premavashat Deva Swayam Bhavati Sevakaha. And like this, so many stories are there. In Gujarat also, Narsi Mehta, that saint was there. And he was also always absorbed in taking names of God and always thinking of the sports of God, his virtues and all his places. He was also a householder. He had got a daughter of the marriage age, marriable age. But he was not conscious of these all happenings, that she has grown up and now she has to be married to a right person. His wife, etc., was there. So what to do? Then one party came and they asked for his daughter's hand in marriage for their son. And then afterwards they sat for thinking the terms of gifts, etc. This much gold you will give with your daughter, this much cloths, etc. you will do for bridegroom, and this many people you will feed, and you will do the all expenses of marriage, etc. So in this way, and he was there in that meeting, but he was, Narsi Mehta was in fully lost in God's devotion. And in that, he just said, yes, 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 okay, 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 I will do, fine, resolved. And his wife was just getting astonished. Why he is saying yes, yes, yes? Because so much gold, so much expenditure, so much people to feed, and so much for dress, etc. How he will do? How he will manage? From where he will bring money? But she did not say anything in that meeting. That time women always would not speak in front of any other people, and always, that also in low town, in private also she will speak. So the people went happily that yes, that will be a nice pair of this these two families, they will come together. And slowly that date of marriage is coming near, and worry of this wife is going up. So one person came and he said, okay, now we have to prepare for the marriage, so we have to purchase gold and give it to for ornament making. Now we have to arrange for the venue of marriage and arrange all caterers, decorators and all the things. We have to purchase clothes for all bridegroom, etc. So let us do. Then that wife thinks that someone of his acquaintance, Narsi Mehta, he must have arranged this all. So then she goes and did all the things. Whatever gold was wanted, he paid for that. Whatever grains, whatever flowers, whatever venue, deposit, everything is done. Very good. And he was knowing nothing. Means he was just lost in. So when you are absorbed there, God takes care of this, and he becomes servant of him very nicely. Further now Guruji takes further topic. So Bhakti Phalam. Now what is the result of devotion? So he says in 14th verse, Karma Yoga Phalam Shuddhir Manasa Sarva Sammatam Chitta Vrittir Nirodhasto Phalam Yogasya Varnitaha. It has been accepted by all that purity of mind is the result of the yoga of action, and the cessation of all thoughts is that of yoga. So he said, Karma Yoga Phalam Shuddhihi Manasaha Sarvasammatam Chittavrittehi Nirodhastu Phalam Yogasya Varnitam. So two things first he says, those are the path of the spiritual practices and their result. When one do this yoga, this path of action, when one follows the path of action gives the result of purity of mind. And when one follows Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga path, then one just stops the thought flow in mind. Now, what is Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga is doing your duties and surrendering it to Lord. Doing your duties without attachment to action, without attachment to the insistence of the fruit of action. So, action plus God is equal to path of action. Same action, if we did with attachment that I will do this thing only and this thing I alone can do. So, this is attachment to action. And I should get this result at this time, in this way, in this manner. That is attachment to fruit or result. If like this way we do action, then same action will bind us, because it will create minute and subtle inclinations and tendencies in us, because of which we will have to again desire, do action, enjoy the fruit. In that vicious circle we will fall, and even this body gets dropped. Again we will have to take second body, second birth for discharging these vasanas. So in this way we see action is the cause of bondage, but the same action becomes the cause of liberation. How? Because when we do without attachment, without emphasis and insistence on that fruit, and surrendering it to Lord, I am doing my duty as a worship to Lord. Example is given here. On the bank of Ganga river, whoever villages are there, so children in those villages, they go for swimming to Ganga, and from the plains, all remaining India, the devotees also go to Ganga and take a dip for just cleansing themselves. That time there is that chain is there. So if we hold on to that chain, then we can take dip in Ganga. But some people just, they are adventurous, so they don't pay heed to that instruction that don't leave chain while taking bath, don't go ahead, because this flow is very speedy and with force it will take you ahead, and there is dangers of drowning in the Ganga, living and losing your life. So they don't pay heed to this caution and they just go inside, and then this water takes them out. So this Ganges flow becomes the cause of their death. But the children who stay in the villages along the Ganga river, they just go every day or in the holidays and swim in the river. So how they do that? They take a specific angle, because they know the direction and speed of the flow. So they take such an angle for swimming that they reach the other shore, they reach the other bank. So the same flow of water which was the cause for these people from the plains for death, the same flow of water became the cause for going to the other shore to those children who know how to swim in which angle. So in this way, same action becomes a cause of liberation, taking us to that knowledge, making us fit and eligible to that knowledge, self-knowledge, which will liberate us. So this purity of mind is the result of action path. And now here says chitta vruttehe nirodhastu phalam yogasya varnitam. The very first sutra, aphorism of Patanjali Yoga Sutra is Yogas Chitta Vritter Nirodha. Yoga is just stopping your thought of flow. So by doing different postures, and before that Disciplines, internal discipline, outer discipline, yama and niyama. Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, and shaucha, santosh, tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhana. These are rules for our inner and outer behavior. So non-injury, then ahimsa, satya, speaking truth, restraint on our indulgence, use of sense organs, and taking whatever necessary, seeing only what is necessary, not all. Anedo. If we just take every side in, then this cosmos is infinite. So that is not. Whatever good for me, that only I will take in by way of sight, form, taste, sound, etc. Also, whatever is distracting me, that I will abandon. So in this way, brahmacharya, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya. Then asteya means not stealing. Whatever is not belonging to me, I will not touch, will not take, unless and until it is gifted or offered to me, or I have sought permission of the owner. So in this way, this asteya and brahmacharya, aparigraha, non-aggrandizement. So overstocking everything, hoarding much more than what we need, that is not to be done. So in this way, these are yama. And shaucha, santosha, tapaswadhyaya, ishwar pranidhan means clarity, cleanliness of ourselves, surrounding, house, etc. Cleanliness. Shaucha, santosha, contentment. Whatever I have, enough. This feeling, whatever I need, God gives. If that thing is not there with me, I don't need it. It means He knows what I need, what is necessary for me. So this contentment, cleanliness, contentment, and then self-study. What is my own nature? That is given in scriptures. So study of scriptures. Swadhyaya, then tapa, austerity, concentrating mind, organs of perception, organs of action, and conserving that energy which just gets wasted in unnecessary movement of all these things, in unnecessary thought at the level of mind, and in unnecessary movements of our hands, legs, etc., eyes, etc. So conserving that energy, that is tapa, austerity. And for that purpose, depriving ourselves from certain comforts or conveniences, just standing, just having silence, or just taking bath with cold water, fasting, sleeping on the ground, on hard mat, not on soft bed. So in this way, reducing the comforts of the body, coming out of the comfort zone. This is also called tapa, and that is for this concentration only. Shaucha, santosha, tapa, swadhyaya, ishwara pranidhan. And lastly, whatever we do, we have to do that under the shade of grace of the Lord. Even if we are trying to disprove that, oh, no world is there, ajatavad, asparshavad, no world ever has come, yatra kinchinna jayate. Even if we are thinking of that, discussing that, understanding that, but that also should be happen under the shade of the grace of Lord. So ईश्वर प्रणिधान, सामर्थ्य आहे चळवळीचे, जो जे करील तयाचे, परंतु तेथे भगवंताचे अधिष्ठान पाहिजे. In this way, ईश्वर प्रणिधान. These five are the rules for outer and inner behavior. And then comes asana, the comfortable posture of our limbs, in which we can sit for a long time without any discomfort, so that we can concentrate on our thought, our mind, and the Lord. This is posture, asana. Then pranayama. Our mind and our vital air are connected as if they are two branches of the same tree of consciousness. And therefore, when we just consciously do breathing, then automatically mind also gets calm and quiet and peaceful. So in this way, pranayama, regulating your breathing in and breathing out, various techniques, various terms in that also, and various facets to see it also, pranayama. And then last is pranayamas, dharana, dhyana, pratyahara is self-withdrawal. Now mind has become introvert, self-withdrawal, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Dharana is concentrating mind at one place, at one point, at one idea, or the idol, etc., picture of Lord. And that will culminate in meditation, sajatiya vritti pravaha, deshabandha chittasya dharana, sajatiya vritti pravaha, and then samadhi, absorption, means the meditator will get merged in that meditated thing. Nirvikalpa samadhi. Savikalpa samadhi, I am meditating, this feeling will be there. In this way, the cessation of thoughts is the result of yoga, Patanjali yoga. Further, Guruji says, Brahmatmaikatva vijnanan muktim prahurmanishinaha etat sarvantu bhaktaiva praptam bhaktyaistatothikam. The great thinkers declare that liberation is gained through the realization of the oneness of the self with Brahman. However, devotees gain all this and more through devotion alone. Brahma, Atma, Ekatva, ऐक्य किंवा एकत्व विज्ञान, विज्ञानात मुक्तिम प्राहुः मनीषिणः. One gets liberation from knowing the oneness, and knowing means actually experiencing, realizing oneness of the individual self and the supreme self. एतत् सर्वं तु भक्त्या एव प्राप्तं, भक्तैः ततः अधिकं, plus something. Devotion gives that devotee. His devotion definitely gives this liberation, which is gained by the self-knowledge that this only one consciousness is there. But devotion gives something additional benefit also. And what is that additional benefit? It is just happiness, security, and this God is always with me. So He is my accompaniment, He is my friend, He is my mother, father, brother, He is my master. I am His servant. I am working for Him. So these are all great noble feelings this God gives. Acha. Now this Brahma, Atma, Aikyat, Ekatva Vijnan, that is large, big topic. Vijnanan Mukti Prahur, Rute Jnanan na Kaivalyam, Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam, Rute Jnanan na Muktihi. It is said that liberation, freedom is never got without self-knowledge and knowledge of the oneness of the all universe, means oneself and that eternal reality. And that we come to know by various means. When a word is there, we can know its direct meaning by itself. Otherwise, we can take some different meaning, leaving this direct meaning. Abhidha, direct meaning. Vyanjana, opposite meaning. When satire is there, then satirically it is said, oh, understood, you are very wise. So actually the person wanted to say that you are dull, you are unwise, you are otherwise. So sometimes, as per depending on the tone, etc., the reference, we take completely opposite meaning. Abhidha, Vyanjana. And third is Lakshana. Lakshana means indicative meaning. Not that word meaning, but the thing which is indicated by that we take. Example, the face is beautiful like the moon. But actually that moon-like face is not there. Because when space scientists they went on moon, that was not that beautiful. That has all ups and downs. But what is indicated here, that it is very attractive, very nice, very beautiful. So that's what we understand when we hear this. So in this way, Abhida, Lakshana, Vyanjana, these three are the methods by which we understand meaning of the word. And here Brahma Atma Aikya, oneness of the Supreme Truth and addition, which is the substratum of all the world. And this individual says that I or you, we say. So how to understand that? So that is understood by this Lakshana, means indicative meaning. And that too how, with that indicating meaning also there are ways of understanding. Like they say Bhaga Lakshana, Tyaga Lakshana, Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana, or Jahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Jahada Jahal Lakshana. So different examples are given, classical examples are given in our scriptures, which are effective, which are effectively telling us the meaning of this. So Bhaga Lakshana, Tyaga Lakshana, Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana, it is called. So when we say that Gangayam Ghosha, the cowherd's habitat is on river Ganges, then word meaning is that on the river Ganges means on the water, so that we live. And we take the meaning that it is alongside the Ganges river, it is at the bank of the Ganges river. So in this way, we take the indicative meaning. So in that way, Brahma, Atma, Aikya, Vijnan, is it possible? So no, so it is not possible by that way. Tyaga, this is Tyaga Lakshana. Then Bhaga Lakshana is how? Bhaga Lakshana, when one says that Mancha Kroshanti. Mancha Kroshanti means balconies are roaring, balconies are shouting. Now suppose lot of crowd is watching a film, and at one point when there was intensity created, that time light goes off, there is failure of power, and all the people were so much in the mood to see what happens next. So they whistle and they shout and cry. So Mancha Kroshanti. Even though word meaning is what? Mancha Kroshanti, balconies shout. But balconies, those chairs on the upstairs, they can't, they are not living things. They are not sentient beings to cry, etc., shout. So what we understand? The people sitting in balcony, the audience that is sitting in the balcony, that are shouting, they are shouting. So in this way we have added something, so it is Bhaga Lakshana. But with that, can we understand this oneness of Brahman and Atma? Brahman is that Ishwar, the creator, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, and this Jiva, you and me, are very negligible, just fraction of that, very little, limited memory, limited power, limited time, lifespan. All the things are very limited. So how this can be one? How oneness will be there? So even if we add something in both, Bhaga Lakshana is not possible for knowing this oneness. So the last one comes Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana, or here we say Jahad Lakshana means Tyaga Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Bhaga Lakshana, and Jahadal Jahal Lakshana, Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana. So how this is applied? So say Soyam Devadattaha. This is the classical example for that. Soyam Devadattaha. That is this Devadatta. So the story goes like this. Two friends were there. They were neighbors in a village. They were going to the same school, same class. So they were just through years they were with one another, good friends. And afterwards, it happened that the father of another friend got transferred to Delhi. So they went there, and further education he had there. They both were a little bit in contact. Sometimes they used to call. So he also got married. He also got married here. Both had children, etc. And by chance, by coincidence, they met once when they went to Haridwar from village, and they also had went to some place there. So they got at the platform, railway platform. They met. Both families were there, and then he asked, "Oh, where is that Devadatta Devu? When it was small, he was so fond of me. Always he was coming to me, uncle, uncle, and jumping on my body." So he said, "He is this Devadatta. He is that Devadatta. That Devadatta is this only." And there was standing a tall young boy with very, very up to date hairstyle and all that jeans and checks shirt, etc. And he was not at all able to recognize him. So, but he understood the Devadatta which he fondled in the childhood in village, the same Devadatta he is seeing in Haridwar railway platform. Personality is the same, even though body, face, then all other gestures, all other nature, etc. is changed. But see, still the personality, the core of personality is the same. So how he understood this? Taddesha, tatkala, and etaddesha, etatkala. The outer things he removed. So that soft touch of earlier child Devadatta he left, and now this was a rough skinned that he left. He took personality. The look, the features that all earlier he left, the properties, the conditionings he left, and so he took the core of that. In the same way, Brahmatmaikatva Vijnana. In this way, in this oneness of this Jiva and Ishvara, Jiva Ishvara Yoho Aikyam, Jiva Brahma Yoho Aikyam, Atma Brahma Yoho Aikyam. So in that we leave aside the properties of that. Now see, one equation is there. Alpadnya, Alpavyapi, Alpashaktiman. Sarvadnya, Sarvavyapi, Sarvashaktiman. This is Ishwar, this is Jiva. So we leave Alpa, and this side we leave Sarva. So both the things remain Jna, Vyapi and Shaktiman. Here also Jna, Vyapi and Shaktiman. So both the sides, right side is equal to left side. Equation is true. So oneness is known. How? By removing in our thinking, while we are inquiring, removing the different adjuncts or upadhis. Thereby this is known, and of course afterwards it is experienced. Afterwards it is brought into life in our day-to-day understanding of the things and people around us. Brahmatmaikatva Vijnana, and that happens with guidance of Guru and grace of Guru. When this oneness is known, nothing there remains to be done afterwards. A fulfillment comes to person. But devotion gives you something more, and that is this sweetness comes in your life, because Madhura Adhipate Rakhilam Madhuram, that sweet God, that loving God, that beautiful God is full of happiness, and everything connected to it is full of that only. And this whole universe is nothing but his own manifestation. Further Guruji says, Bhavanandonubhuyeta bhaktaryasya rasatmikah yogibhirnopalabhyeta sakhya rasyadirupakah. What are the additional things? What are the plus point which you are saying that bhakti, devotion assures a devotee? So they are told here, the joy of a particular attitude of being a servant, friend, of the Lord, which is experienced by devotees, is most delightful. Yogis do not get to experience it. भाव आनंदः अनुभूयेत भक्तैः यः सः रसात्मिकः योगिभिः न उपलभ्येत सख्य दास्य आदि रूपकः. So that feeling of devotedness is very nice. Ramakrishna Paramahansa said once that what is point in becoming sugar? Definitely there is a point in eating sugar, in tasting sugar. When we eat sugar or taste sugar, that is sweet. But when we ourselves become sugar, then what is point in that? Okay, it is good. So the oneness is good. But when two-ness is accepted for a time being, for the purpose of being devoted, and this in Panchadasi also it is said that same God principle takes the great form and becomes the deity, and same God principle take the inferior form and becomes the devotee. And same God principle we can add, same God principle take the inert form and becomes the material with which we worship. So here it is said, Guruji says that devotee gets this, that yes, I am a friend of God. God is my master, I am servant to Him. He is my, this relationship is there. And this relationship creates those sweet feelings in us. भाव भक्ति का जनक है और संबंध भाव का जनक है. When we are related to God, then there comes this feeling, and when feeling comes, then love, devotion increases. And अगर भाव है तो प्रभाव है भक्ति का. And the devotion is effective only if there is this feeling. I know one lady, she thinks that she is sister of Radhaji, and therefore she always decorates that Radhaji and prepares her to go to Sri Krishna. She will just do all makeup etc. of that Radha's idol. So in this way she is related to Sri Krishna in this relation. So she is a sister of his devotee, his friend, is Radha. In this way, plus point of bhakti. Yogi bhi no upalabhyata. And when that dry is not that actually, once Guruji, somebody said to Gurudev, Bhakti, devotion is a juicy fruit. And Gurudev immediately said, yes, and Vedanta is dry fruit. Those who have capacity to digest that, they can eat it. So definitely that also is fruit, but yogi bhi no upalabhyata, this jnana yoga etc. They say so much you have to think, and all these concepts and all these prakriyas, adhyaropa apavad prakriya and anvay vyatirek, and then this theory of reflection, theory of limitation, pratibimbavad, theory of reflection and theory of limitation, avachedvad. So who will think, who will study this, and who will remember that? So it is good, that bhakti, it is good. You can see Lord as your child, and you can just cajole and caress Him and fondle Him, and then He will be adamant to get something to play and not to sleep, and then you will just try to console Him. So many sweet things this devotion gives us. Further, Guruji says in 17th verse, Yatha devastatha bodho jnana yogasya lakshanam yatha bhavastatha devo bhakti yogasya lakshanam. As the God, so the knowledge is the characteristic of the yoga of knowledge. As your attitude, so is God. is the characteristic of the yoga of devotion. यथा देवः तथा बोधः ज्ञानयोगस्य लक्षणं, यथा भावः तथा देवः भक्तियोगस्य लक्षणं. So in technical terms it is called Vastu Tantra and Purusha Tantra. Bhakti devotion is Purusha Tantra because it depends on the feelings of that person. If he finds, then that is true. If he believes, if he feels, then that is true. But knowledge is as it is. The thing is there and the knowledge is there. That doesn't depend on the person who tries to know. He may take it in wrong way. People may say there is there God, what he is doing, etc. But that doesn't affect in any way to the Lord. So in this way, this is there. But here it is told in different angle. The followers of the path of knowledge, they have to realize that Lord as it is. Now suppose Ishvara, how it is Ishvara is a Jagat Karta, he is the creator of the Lord. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yam prayante visam vishanti iti tad brahma. So Lord is that from which all the universe comes, on which it appears to stay and in which it merges back. That is Lord. And Lord is to be seen like rain. How rain just pours water everywhere. But where the farmer prepares the land and before that he just sows the seed, then he can at last harvest much crop. But all mountains etc. and all stones etc., even though rain is there, that will not give anything in the return. That will just waste or water will go on flowing. So in this way, Lord's grace is everywhere. If we prepare ourselves, if we equip ourselves to receive that grace and do the best use of that, then we can have that grace materialized in our life. But otherwise, it just goes away. So you search for grace and you become eligible to receive that grace. So that is, we have to understand the Lord in this way. Yatha devas tatha bodha. Also he is the creator of all the things of which we cannot take credit of. This world, who has created? Not me, not my forefathers, so God has created. All the inner functions, all our perspiration system, nervous system, digestion system, all our excretion etc., how that happens? I do not do anything for that, so must have been God. In the womb, who takes care of God? How each and limbs of his body, of mind, intellect, that all increases, grows and becomes fit instrument to enjoy the world and to make some difference in it, to know himself and to know the Lord also. So that is God. So we have to understand it as it is. But in devotion, you can realize this God in any form. You can realize him as a great universal person or as a sweet and very adorable form, like having this all ornaments etc., like a monarch, and having this crown and flower garland which will ever remain same fragrant and beautiful, having done with yellow silky cloths. So in this way, whatever form you meditate on, you contemplate on, you decide, in that way you can realize the God. This is the freedom, this is the speciality, this is the additional thing that devotion grants to the devotee. and God has taken so many incarnations. So a fish, in the form of fish, in the form of crocodile, in the form of this one turtle, in the form of lion and man together combined, in the form of boar, wild boar, in the form of a archer, in the form of a prince of the king, emperor, and in the form of the wielder of Bansuri, blue boy of Vrindavan. Devotees, at their will and wish, they imagine that Lord, and He makes Himself available and appear in front of them to have its vision. Now, further, next topic, Guruji says, Bhakter Abhivyaktayaha. The expressions of devotion. This little bit we discussed in the beginning. Bhaktire kaiva tasyastu vividha abhivyaktayaha bhaktanam ruchivedena bhavavedena va tatha. Even though devotion is one alone, its expressions are many due to the differences in the attitude and aptitudes of devotees. Bhakti eka eva tasyaha astu vividhaha abhivyaktayaha bhaktanam ruchibhedena bhavabhedena va tatha. Va means athava or kimva. Devotion is one alone, but its expressions, its manifestations, its signs and symbols, they are different. They depend upon the taste of devotee, the liking of devotee, or the attitude and aptitude of devotee. And according to that, it is defined also. So generally, what are they? It is told in next verse. Poojya manurago va katha dhyana japadishu ishwararpana buddhya va sarva karmanupalane. Puja, some individuals have love for worship, meditation or japa, and others have love for doing all actions dedicated to God. Pujayam anuragaha va katha dhyana japa adishu ishwararpana buddhya va sarva karma anupalane. So these are different definitions that are enlisted in Narada Bhakti Sudhaa, aphorisms on devotion by Devarshi Narad. That is famous text on devotion. And in that it is said that Pujayam Anuragaha. Devotion is that which is liking for worship of God. Different types of worships are there. Some people take 1,000 names 100 times. Suppose Chaturmas is there in 4 months of monsoon. Laksharchana means 1,000 names 100 times. So that 100 times when we say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Sthanave Namaha, 1,000 names of Shivaji. 2 sets of 1,000 names of Shivaji comes in Mahabharata. Tandi Rishi, Upamanyu, Shri Krishna, these are all are their devotees who pass on that to each other. So with each name, a bilvadal, the leaf of bay is offered, or white complete rice will be offered, akshata, or some bhasma, a pinch of bhasma will be offered, or whatever is possible, milk, water, or only salutation. At least that we can offer very well, along with our feelings and devotion of the heart. So in this way, Laksharchana, Sahasrarchana means 1,000 names of Lord Gopal, Krishna, in Vishnu Bhagwan, Lalita Sahasranam, Devi Sahasranam, Ganapati Sahasranam, so many are there. So in this way, an elaborate puja, each and every ritual, that meditating on him, then calling him, inviting him, then offering him the seat to sit. That seat is also how? Ratnai kalpitamasanam, that is bedecked with jewels. So in this way, that seat where velvety seat is there, and all the things further up till Rajopachara, by which we have to entertain this deity with music and dance and all acting, and then ride on elephant, ride on camel, ride on horse, and around in a river, and round in moonlight, this all, and of course reading of Vedas, Puranas, that all, Ghanapat. So in this way, taking interest in that and spending hours together with elaborate puja, with all the expensive materials, lot of flowers and lot of food offered, and all ornaments, etc. Surana Pushpa Dakshinam, real golden flowers of lotus, real golden flowers of rose, these are offered. So in this way, that is also an expression of bhakti. Pujayam anuraga. Even to look at such puja, to have sight on this puja, to observe this puja, that is also merit giving devotion, merit giving practice. Pujayam anuraga va katha. Now, second is interest in listening God's stories. God's stories are such fantastic and very fascinating. Even we cannot imagine those things are done by Lord. So they just surpass our own imagination on all other fairy tales, etc. So listening to these stories, and of course they give the great lessons of life, tips for being successful in life, being fulfilled in life. Katha, all Puranas, 18 sub Puranas, and crores of numbers of verses in that, and so many word pictures they keep in front of us. We can just contemplate on that and see that happening in our mind. Very interesting. Katha. Then some people, that is also expression of devotion. Then some people interested in dhyana, meditation. Just close your eyes, sit quietly and think, yes, it is Vrindavan, and you are seeing the palace of Nandaraja, the king of all cows. Crores of numbers of cows everybody is having, and in that palace this little child, baby Krishna, is there. And then from outside, a lady who is fruit seller, she passes on and she gives a cry. Anybody wants fruits, mangoes, gavas, chicos? Fruits are there. So Shri Krishna calls her, come, come. And then he says, give me fruit. So he says, give me some grain. In barter exchange is there. So the price you give me. So then he slowly goes to that. He has observed how mother has taken that rice from that one big jar, etc. Then he, with his tiny fingers and hands, he takes that rice. But most of the grain are fallen only in between. And then whatever remaining he brings to her. And she is so much attracted towards him, and she is so much he's loving. Then she takes that remaining grains and fills his hand with all the fruits. And whatever remaining, that also she offers him only as her devotion. And when she goes at home, she finds that his basket is full of precious, invaluable jewels that will just dispel her own this one also, and miss whatever lacuna of money is there. And afterwards her further 7 generations will also sit in it, in that wealth. So just let it happen in your mind. Dhyana. So this is Saguna Dhyana. And of course Nirguna Dhyana. Slowly we graduate to Nirguna Dhyana. Then just be alert and sit. Not even a ripple of thought is there in your mind. And prolong this way. Japa. Further japa. Repeating God's name. Repeating God's name is also very simple but very effective way of devotion. And for that purpose you can take even noun as a name of God or any mantra from Vedas or Puranas. Just you can say Krishna Krishna, Vitthal Vitthal, Ram Ram, Shiva Shiva, or you can take a mantra. Om Aghore Ebhyo Ghore Ebhyo Ghore Ghore Tarebhya Sarve Ebhya Sarva Sarve Ebhyo. In this way from Vedas you can take, or Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Any mantra you can take from Puranas etc. and go on repeating it. That sweet name of the Lord practically and actually gives you the taste of sweetness in mouth, on your tongue, if that is said with proper determination, with proper love, that feeling and regularity for sufficiently long time. Sant Tukaram etc., Sant Namdev, they all have emphasized on this Smaranam, Namasmarana only. And especially in this age, in this iron age, in this Kali Yuga, when we can't assure or confirm the purity of all the material used for worship or used for yoga, yaga etc., havan etc., fire ritual, we can't give guarantee of all the correct and pronunciation of mantras etc., because how they are printing mistakes, then teaching and learning, in that also so many words get skipped and so many gets modified. So we can't give this properness of those mantras. Only this bhava is there, that devotion is there, that is ours. So that we can make pure. And therefore this japa, taking God's name, is the most suitable practice for this Kali Yuga. Also, there are so many objects and our mind is actually in pieces in all of that. So there is very difficult to concentrate it for all other practices. Japa is how we can take the help of, either we can write the japa or we can take the help of rosary. So speech, moving the bead, so physic or body, and our mind, remembering that God. So these three things can be coordinated, and these three will be the support for us. Like a child first learns a tricycle, then when he gets to attain this balance, then he just tries with bicycle. So in this way first these three, rosary, this mind, body and speech. Then slowly one we can remove, only in mind we can chant that mantra. So that is bicycle. And then when that will be also removed, only we can meditate. So japa is the very famous and always recommended practice of this devotion. Like the small child, mother, 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 so many times he just go on calling. And at last that mother comes. So they say, Ram Ram ratte raho, जब तक तन में प्राण, कभी तो दीन दयाल के भनक पड़ेगी कान. At least sometimes he will listen to me, he will hear and he will come, and I will be able to see him and be him. Ishwararpan buddhyava, sarva karmanupalene. And this is also a manifestation of devotion, expression of devotion. And last Guruji has given to do your all actions by offering them to Lord. That is one type of expression of devotion. Tadarpita khilacharata. That comes in Narad Bhakti Sutra. Tadarpita khilacharata. Pujayam anuragah iti gargah. Kathadishu iti gargah. Pujayam anuragah iti shandilyah. Kathadishu vyasah parasharah. So many saints have, philosophers have, seers have given these definitions. And it is said, Ishwararpana buddhyava sarva karmanupalane. So whatever your duty is there, doing that as an offering to the Lord. One physiotherapist is there. And she says, I am so busy in all that work also, hospital work and at home also. So I don't find to do elaborate puja of God, etc. But whatever possible I do in 5 minutes, and then I go to my physiotherapist, that hospital, and when a person comes, patient comes to me, he has got pains. So when I observe and fully making a nice this one treatment, etc., symptoms, on the basis of symptoms, I give him the set of exercise, and then that removes his pain, and he comes at the end to thank me with a smiling face. So that I offer Lord as one flower. So that smile of the patient, that I offer as a flower. So Ishwararpana buddhyava sarva karmanupalane. Whatever our duty, whether it is hard or easy, whether it is well known or unknown. So that all work when we offer to Lord. Many other funny tales, episodes are also there regarding this. Ishwararpana buddhyava, Shri Krishnarpanamastu, Shri Krishnarpanamastu. God actually accepts that. He himself says in Gita, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yomi bhaktya prayachati tadham bhakti purutam asnami prayatatmanaha. Whatever one offers with devotion to me, whether a drop of water, a leaf, a fruit, a flower, I accept that. Kechit bhajanti sarve. Now next Guruji says, Kechit bhajanti sarvesham dasya bhavena va punaha va dasya bhavena sarvada अन्ये sakhyena putrena kanta bhavena va punaha. Some devotees always worship God with the attitude of being His servant, while others serve Him as a friend or son or His beloved. केचित् भजन्ति सर्वेषां दास्य भावेन सर्वथा अन्ये सख्येन पुत्रेण कांता भावेन वा पुनः. Some people are devotees of God in the relation of servant and served, master and servant. Some people as friend to the God, like Arjun was friend to the God, Vibhishan, Sugriv, Nishad. God himself said that they are my friends. Sakha and Putrena, some people devoted to God as he is my child, he is my son. And like Devaki, Mother Kausalya, they loved God like that. My son. Dasharatha also, like my son. Nanda also, Vasudeva also, Yashoda also. They loved God like son. Putrena. Then Kanta Bhavena. So I am beloved of him. I am wife of him. So like a spouse. So he is my husband, he is my beloved. He is my master. So in this way they please Lord. Like so many gopis had this vow. And recently one blind saint, Gulabrao Maharaj from Amaravati in Maharashtra, Madhata. So he had this Kanta vow and he called this Madhura Bhakti. This is very difficult but very intense. No intensity like this Kanta Bhava is there in any other relationships. Because when wife and husband, this relationship is there, by all means they are together and they are close to each other. Brother, sister, and other relations are also okay, but this is the most intense relation, that lover and beloved, Kanta Bhavena Apna. And all these have its own flavor, and how our mental setup is there, our profile is there, according to that we can choose out of this any devotion, any pattern, and we can just be connected with that God. Hanuman was devoted to Lord with Dasya Bhava. Always he considered himself as Dasa. So ananya jaki ashi असे मति नटरई हनुमंत मैं सेवक सचराचर रूप स्वामी भगवंत. He is Ananya. Ananya means not other, only one. He is Ananya, who thinks that he is a servant and this whole world is the form of God. So I am the servant of the whole universe. He is Ananya. Kechit bhajanti sarvesham. Ananya. Anyashrayanam tyagaha. My only resort, my only shelter, my only support is that Lord. And that Lord has manifested in the form of all other that I think in world they are my support, my friends, families, money, etc. Sakhena is Uddhav also and Arjun also, Kanta Bhavena, Rukmini and all these wives also related to, devoted to Lord as Kanta Bhav, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Lakshmana, Mitravinda, that all. Further, Guruji says, यैर्यैर्भावैश्च ते ये भक्ता भजन्ति परमेश्वरं स तथैवानुगृह्णाति भक्तान् कारुणिकेश्वरः. With whatever attitudes devotees worship God, that compassionate Lord blesses them in the same way. यैहि भावैहि च ये भक्ता भजन्ति परमेश्वरं स तथा एव अनुगृह्णाति भक्तान् कारुणिक ईश्वरः. As you look to me, I look to you. Shirdi Sai Baba used to say, जो जो जैसा पाहे, जो जो मज पाहे, जैसा जैसा भावे, तैसा तैसा पावे मी त्यासे. The way you look to me, same way I will bless you. Same way you will get and gain from me. So just as a human vision is there, oh, he is also human being, then you will get that also. Oh, he is God, he is Parabrahma, he is my Guru, he is my guide, he is my friend, he wants my good, he is my relative. So whatever attitude you keep, same way you will be repaid in that coin. You will get that on the relation and return from God. यही भावश्च ये भक्ता भजन्ति परमेश्वरम स तथैव अनुगृह्णाति भक्तान् कारुणिकेश्वर. He is very compassionate and he respects your feelings. So in that way only he gets related with you and he makes him known with you. And this is seen in all other this. Earlier we saw that Dveshat, this Shalva, Adimanam, Shishupal, etc. Bhayat, Kaunsa. So he got that only from Lord also. As a Shatru. So Lord fought with him. He did Rama and Ravan. They did that war also. So as you look to him, he will look to you. Because he respects your feelings. Therefore better look him as our Lord, beloved. Very nice and happiness giving feelings we should entertain towards Lord. Bhakti Sadhanani. Now Guruji changes the topic, says Bhakti Sadhanani. What are the means to develop devotion? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Listening to the glories of Lord Vishnu, singing, remembering, serving, worshipping, saluting the Lord, being his servant, his friend, and offering oneself at his feet. These are the means of devotion. They are said by Prahlad in Srimad Bhagavat to his father Hiranyakashipu. So, I think Guruji himself will elaborate them further a little bit. So, Shravana means listening the glories of the God. Who is God? So, that is told in satsang. Reading book also comes in this only, attending satsang. Nowadays attending online classes, and there is an ocean of videos etc. about this. Shravanam Kirtanam, you can choose whatever appeals to you. Shravanam Kirtanam, then when we listen for a long time, then definitely we also feel that I should sing the glory of Lord. And of course, when we are ready, when we equip ourselves, God gives us opportunity. He gives us a chance, He gives us a break. Shravanam Kirtanam. And nowadays we find in every nook and corner and in every lane there are pravachanakar, those who talk, those who give discourses. And there is actually a rarity of those who will listen. Audience is very rare now. Speakers are many. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and remembering the Lord Vishnu's feet, his form, his name, his Swarupa, his essence, his sports, his attitude, all the places where he did those sports. Vishnu Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, and actual working. Actual working, giving service to society as Lord, or actual worshipping. Suppose Guru is there, so God is there in his form. So actual pressing his feet, actual washing his clothes, actual cooking food for him, participating in both the ways. And of course, understanding what he preaches and spreading that knowledge. Parasivanam, Archanam. Archanam, this is elaborate puja that we saw earlier. Kumkumarchana, Bhasmarchana, Bilvarchana, Sahasranamarchana. Like this worship of many types. Showing God mirror and waving this, giving him wind by that wind mower. And also making him laugh by doing mimicry and all other things, telling jokes, etc. Archanam, Vandanam, always saluting, always paying obeisance and prostrating and falling flat at the feet of Lord and just rolling on the ground like a child. And saluting all, even donkey, saluting donkey, because in that also, that consciousness, that Chaitanya is there, which is my Lord. So Vandanam, Dasyam, and becoming a servant which don't need any payment. Ashulka Dasika. Ashulka Dasika means you don't have to pay me. No labor charges, etc. are there. I will just be your servant. Give me that only opportunity. Dasyam, Sakhyam, and now devotee says he is my master, but God says he is my friend. So Dasyam from the part of devotee, I am your servant, but God says you are my friend. In Ramayana etc., this is written that God says, O Sakha, Nishada, then Sumanta, all Sumanta's son, all these are they who are the servants of Lord, ministers, etc. God calls them as their friend only. Atmanivedanam, this is the last and acme and zenith of this devotion, where devotee doesn't remain separate than God and he fully merges in Him. he submits his very ego, because of which duality is felt. So now who will worship whom? Because worshipper, I worshipped God. By that way, if you think, then devotion is also an enjoyment only, where the devotee enjoys Lord's form, devotee enjoys his company, his stories, etc. So in that way, God has made object of enjoyment by the devotee. So now he himself surrenders and he makes ourselves object of God. Like food we offer and that becomes one with God. So same way he offers himself and then he becomes one with God. Guruji says further, Iti bhagavate skandhe saptame proktavan sudhehi prahladas sadhanam bhakter hiranyakashipum prati. In this way, in 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavat, these are the 9 means of devotion that were described by the wise Prahlad to Hiranyakashipu as seen in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavat. Iti Bhagavate skandhe saptame proktavan sudhihi prahlada sadhanam bhaktehe hiranyakashipum prati. These all 9 types of means to devotion, they are told by Prahlad, Prakarshana Lhadaha, one who is capable of making others happy and whose company is very pleasant. I hope everybody knows the story of Prahlad. Further Guruji says, Sarveshu sadhaneshu vai satsangas sadhanam param Valmikir dhruva prahlado satsangat prapnuvan param. Satsang, association with the noble souls, is the best among all the means of devotion. It is through satsang that Valmiki, Dhruva and Prahlad attained oneness with the Supreme. So, company of the great souls, company of the sages and devotees, great devotees, that is the best, because one who has that one can give. So, devotee can give devotion to the aspirant of devotion. So in this way, in all other this whatever means are enlisted here, out of that company of, and that comes in the first only, Shravan. Because that for Shravan only we come in the company of devotees, even online also. But always nothing like a living person in front of us. Till that time it is okay. Valmiki Dhruva Prahlado. Now this Valmiki, Ram, he could not utter. So Ram, he did so much determination, this japa, that he became great sage, and he wrote that Valmiki Ramayana, which is after so many years now also is the basis for writing all other Ramayans, which are thousands in numbers. Valmiki, so is the great saint, realized person. Even in Yoga Vasishtha also it is said that his Kruti, history. Valmiki Dhruva Prahlado, Dhruva also son of Uttanapad, and his elaborate story comes in Srimad Bhagavat. And he also first went with a desire, but later by devotion he got, and the desire was also fulfilled. That polar star that we see now, around which go all other constellations and other Saptarshi, etc., other stars. all other stars revolve around him. That Dhruva Loka is also there, and physically these we stars see. The stars we see. Also Dhruva Prahlad and Prahlad that we saw earlier. Bhagavan took a very strange form of half man, half lion to kill Hiranyakashipu, his own father, who was torturing him like anything because he was devoted to Lord and always taking his name Narayan, Narayan. Satsangat prapnuvat varam, and they all got the company of Devarshi Narad, therefore their life got transformed and they got devotion of God and thereby excelled in life. Vigna Nivaranam. Now further for next topic, Vigna Nivarana. Satsangas sarvada karyas sarva vignaharo hi saha ahanta mamata vignas tathaiva cha sukhaspraha. One should always seek satsang because it removes all obstacles, namely I-ness, my-ness and the craving for worldly pleasures. Satsangah sarvada karyah sarva vigno haro hi saha ahanta mamata vignaha tathaiva cha sukhaspraha. One must be always in the good company because that removes the obstacles which comes in the way of this devotion. And what are they? Few of them are enlisted here: I-ness, my-ness and desire for enjoyment, desire for worldly craving for worldly pleasures. So these are the obstacles in. So we should think that if I kept my own pride, that I, then where is the scope and where is the space for the Lord? So this is as if a strong odor. So when that is there, no other person will like to come near you. So first we remove this I-ness and become nirahankari, so that our personality becomes pleasant. And God also likes such dainya priyatvat, abhimana dveshitvat. It is said in Narad Bhakti Sutra. The one who is very adamant and thinks much of him, he is not likened by all people, so also as God, so also by God. And one who is very lean and just very polite and humble and meek, then he is liked by all. God also likes us. It doesn't mean that you just become a doormat, but this strong I-ness, that should not be there, and false pride for anything, that not. Mamata and my body, my house, my pleasure, my treasure. This also actually is nothing like a dream objects we just become proud of. At any moment they can be taken away from us, they can destroy. They can be destroyed. So vignaha, ahanta, mamata and sukhaspraha. This is also a point to be think. See, point to be thought over. We do this devotion, we do this practice, we do this readings, listening, etc. But when it comes to have pleasure, we take resort to this sense objects only. So let God become the object of pleasure for you. So let I find joy with God only. Whatever other things that I will take as essential, whatever necessity that I will take. But my basic thinking that yes, in lot of eating tasty food and in a lot of hearing good music and having nice touching beds and clothes, etc. and this all and fragrant, etc. In that pleasure is there. That basic correction of thought is to be there. Otherwise we do these practices, but after today is holiday, no class, so I will sleep much more. So what is the wrong thing here? Sleeping more, oversleeping has joy, and that is where we have to do correction. Getting up early gives us long life and health. But still, if I am finding in mind of mind unsaid desire that yes, today is holiday, I will take much fun and I will just not do anything and do. So this there is there needs some correction in that basic thought, that enjoyment, that pleasure is there in like this oversleeping and idleness, laziness, etc. Further Guruji says, Sarve vignani varyante nama sankirtane navai Rama nama mahat punyam smaraniyam shane shane. These all obstacles are removed by Sri Rama, chanting of this Sri Rama Nama and singing his glories, singing his force and all other things. Rama Nama Mahat Punyam Smaraniyam Shane Shane. Therefore, every moment we should sing this. All obstacles are certainly overcome by singing the name of the Lord. The name of Rama, which is great and holy, should be remembered at every moment. Rama Nama. It is said that Rama Namni, in this Rama, all the Vedas sar is there. As in Om, so is in Ram. It is equal to that. And it is able to give you Bhukti and Mukti. Means this worldly pleasures, prosperity, and also self-knowledge and liberation. Further, Bhagavato Bhaktaha. Now this is the last topic as such. Bhaktaश्चतुर्विधा प्रोक्ता स्वयं नारायणेन हि आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी निष्काम एव सः. 4 types of devotees are described by Bhagavan Lord Shri Krishna only himself. Arto Jinyasu Artharthi Jnani Nishkama eva saha. This last one, Bhakta who has got knowledge also, he is desireless. The first is desire. He has found himself in some difficult condition. Therefore, he is praying God to remove that difficulty. Second is Jijnasu, who wants to know who is God, etc. Third is Artharthi, who has some desire, strong desire in his mind and want praise to God to fulfill that desire. But Jnani, he don't have any desire and he just love God for Lord's sake. See, seeking something else from Lord, this is what all others do. But seeking Lord only from Lord, this is what Jnani does. Therefore, he is the best. And God, Sri Krishna says that I am himself. He never is away from me and I am never away from him. Further he says, Priyo hi jnanino devasya sacha devasya vai priyaha atma rupam harim yadvat pashet tadvat jagatyataha. Just as he sees Lord Hari as his own self, the wise individual sees the Lord also as the expression of Lord Hari, sees the world also as the expression of Lord Hari. The Lord is dear to the wise individual and he is dear to the Lord. Priyaha hi jnaninaha devaha sahaja devasya vai priyaha atmarupam harim yatvat pashet tadvat jagat yataha. Because he sees his own self, the essence of the world and Lord as one only. Means same Lord has taken form of the world and same Lord is there in the form of self in the devotee. That is the firm understanding of the Bhakta, Jnani Bhakta, who knows God, the wise devotee, and therefore he is very dear to Lord and Lord is very dear to him. Both are one actually. The Lord gets all the work done through him, whatever he want to do. Wherever he want to give spiritual guidance, then he sends this wise devotee. So whatever thoughts pass in the mind of wise devotee, actually they are propelled by Lord only. Because he has just dissolved his ego since long, in the phase of spiritual practices only. Further, Guruji says, Advaitanubhavadeva sarvabhutahite ratah sevatetra naro yadva dehanganiha prematah. Just as a man serves all the limbs of his body with affection, even so the wise devotee, because of his realization of the non-dual self, even ever remains engaged in the welfare of all beings. अद्वैत अनुभवात एव सर्वभूत हिते रतः सेवते अत्र नरः यद्वत् देह अंगानि च प्रेमतः. As we serve all the limbs of our body, how much care we take, how much gently we wash and clean all this. And if somebody, some limb of ourselves, some part of our body get injured, how much softly we medicate it. We apply ointment or we do this dressing, etc., put bandage. Whatever is needed, we do very sincerely, regularly, punctually, and with commitment, full commitment towards our body. We protect it. If heat is there, we take fan or AC. If cold is there, we wear woolen clothes, warm clothes. So in the same way, the one who finds his self only in the world, and both is same as Lord, so he serves, go on serving in this world. And there then, actually if my one part is weak, I don't feel any disgust for that. And therefore we find that saints and sages serve even prostitutes, even criminals, even leper who has got leprosy, even dacoits. So in this way, that removing the outer shells outside and seeing that Chaitanya, which is my own beloved Lord, which is the self in me, therefore they go on serving this conditionless, unconditional service, unconditional love, universal love. This is the result of that devotion. 30th verse, Guruji says, Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha vaktoyam bhagavatav preshta kritakrutyasya evahi. The wise devotee hates none, and he is friendly and compassionate towards all beings. Such a devotee is dearest to God, and indeed he has fulfilled the purpose of his life. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha Bhaktoyam Bhagavatav Preshtha Kritakrutyasya evasa. Preshtha means highest dear. That is superlative degree of dearness. Priyata. So God likes him the most. And he has fulfilled whatever to be done in his life. He has done it. Fulfilled his life. Who never hates anybody. And Maitra Karuna. See, it is given like this. Those who are on the upper pedestal than you, he don't hate them because of their achievement, etc. He never hate them and never entertains the feeling of jealousy. Those who are at par him, then he has friendliness, sportiveness with them, like friend he sees. And those who are down, at down level, lower level, he is very compassionate, kind and merciful for them. He is very soft-hearted for them. In this way, all the people are covered in relation to this Bhakta. So accordingly, he will behave with them. Now, Guruji concludes this Bhakti Sudhaa with this beautiful verse. Jayati Jayati Bhakti Sarvalokeshu Nityam Tarati Tarati Mayam Bhakti Yukto Narohi Bhajati Bhajati Loka Idrusham Bhaktavaryam Japati Japati Devo Bhaktavaryasya Nama. Devotion is victorious in all the worlds. A devotee indeed crosses over the Maya. The world worships such a devotee, and even the God of gods, Lord of lords, constantly chants the name of such a devotee. Victory to that devotion. Jayati Jayati Bhakti Sarvalokeshu Nityam. May devotion become ever victorious. Tarati Tarati Mayam Bhakti Yuktaha Naraha Hi. Devotee only crosses over this all falsehood, apparent world of plurality and duality and pairs of opposites, and always just pining for becoming something, going somewhere, acquiring something, and happiness not found in present. So this Maya, this deluding power of Lord, and practically for us that is our mind, the mind that always takes us for a ride. So how we overcome its impact? By this devotion. Bhajati bhajati loko idrusham bhaktavaryam. And such devotee is the great in the world, and all the ordinary people, all other seekers of devotion, they just worship this. They serve him, they obey him, they help him. He becomes praiseworthy and a reverential person. Japati Japati Devo Bhaktavaryasya Nama. And what to say? Lord himself remembers him. It is said that once Lord Shri Krishna was meditating, and Devarshi Narad came and he said, "You are meditating? All the devotees and seekers, etc., they meditate on you. How you are meditating? On whom you do you meditate?" So he said, "I meditate on my devotees, because they are the one who take my glory to all the world. They spread the knowledge about me. And they are so dear that they have forgotten themselves. So I have to remember them. I have to take care of them. I have to give whatever they want and maintain whatever they have." So very nice verse Guruji has composed. And that way also full Bhakti Sudhaa is sweet one, because it is the sweetest devotion, love for God. This study of this Bhakti Sudhaa, the composition of Param Poojya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda ji, we offer at his lotus feet. Hari Om. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om Shri Guru